Well, the best night of the week is back. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. Plenty of Texas high school football and plenty of Whataburger Friday Night Stars. We are back. We are live yet again here from the Star in Frisco, Texas. Today, it's the headquarters of Friday Night Football, normally the headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys, and we're glad to be with you. It's Friday Night Stars presented by Game On Sports, and like I said, live from the Star, Heckma Harrison, Zach Wolchuk, Eric Chiafalo. I'm Kyle Yeomans, bringing you all the coverage you need of North Texas high school football. And guys, I am pumped about this week. And you want to know why? There is no rain right now in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I could not be more happy to be giving that news across the area to whoever's watching. We don't have to deal with any delays.
Is this the first time all season?
It's the second time, week one.
Week one.
But
God, that feels like forever ago.
It does. It feels like years ago.
It was over a month ago.
It's wild. This season's
Yeah,
flying by.
it
I'm
is
glad
flying
that
by.
the rain gods have decided to save us from another Friday night of misery.
Thank goodness.
Now we can get some high school football action in. I couldn't be happier. I know Heckma did his rain dance coming in this morning to
Hey,
keep
man,
it out
that's
of here.
why it happened.
I've been
Poncho
feeling
on.
like a meteorologist for the last couple
Really?
weeks here. Just like, man, every Friday, when is this going to stop? And we're finally going to get uninterrupted games, and I think we got it.
I think we might have it. I don't want to jinx anything because there's a lot of Friday
that's
left
too late
to go.
now. We've already jinxed the heck out of
That's,
it.
There you go.
that's fair.
are
Guys, how
good
we
at
doing
that.
this week?
How we doing, guys?
How we doing, guys?
Wonderful.
Heckma, how are you? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
I like that. That's so cute.
Whoa.
I feel like I hadn't seen you in a while.
We're having a little moment here.
That
in on
rivalry
this.
down in the down in the corner.
Okay, so I got to bring this up. What
Yes.
rivalry?
There's a rivalry
have you tried to
between you
create
two.
here between Heckma and I? 'Cause
It's not
we-
going to happen.
It's across the
We
table.
we agree on a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
But you disagree on quite a few things as well.
Such as?
Eric, am I alone in this?
Potentially, I don't know. I mean, I don't really understand.
I was looking for Eric to back me
Well,
up,
I
and
didn't
he
know where
left
the
me hanging.
rivalry was coming at. To be completely honest.
No, it's coming from.
It is.
Yeah, no, it's you
It's
can
a
tell
heavy
between the two of
rivalry
them.
here.
There's definitely a rivalry going on, but we'll talk about that later on as we get started here on week 5. By the end of the show, we'll be halfway through the regular season of Texas high school football.
Jeez.
Time
Isn't
is
that
flying
pretty
when you're
crazy?
having
That is
fun,
sad.
right?
Pretty wild.
I don't really. It kind of upsets me, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
no,
almost
it's
moving.
kind of scary a little
I
bit.
kind of want to throw some extra weeks in there. Luckily, the playoffs are great.
Absolutely.
So once you get to playoff football,
And we'll have
it's
6
all-
more weeks from there. We're not
exactly.
We're not
exactly.
halfway through the year yet.
But I'm gonna miss just having a full slate of all these district acts. I mean, now you're getting there's a lot of rivalry
That's a
games
big
tonight.
thing.
I mean, this is and it's about to flip to October. I don't know about you guys. October's my favorite month of the year.
Absolutely.
Big Halloween guy.
Not even Halloween. It's just the change into the season.
Yeah,
it gets a little cold, and it is really football time. It's
Yeah.
where football is. You do have the World Series and everything going on in baseball, but it's really where football is the Lone Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially in the Lone Star State. I had to go.
I like that.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Set you up nice.
So, with that being said, there are a lot of games to get to. We'll talk about some of the Thursday games later on. Of course, we'll go through all the Friday games. We have a bunch of highlighted matchups. We'll give you scores as they come in. And then also, we've got 10 reporters out, actually 9 reporters out on the scene at games around the area. So, we'll talk to each one of those and give firsthand accounts of what's going on in Texas high school football. We'll also talk to some of them on the phone later on. I believe we have Preston Stone, quarterback at Parish Episcopal, one of the
That's
top
awesome.
quarterbacks in the area. He's going to call in right around 8 o'clock, so stay tuned for that.
Hopefully, we were able to get Preston on. That's something that's in the works as we speak.
Oh,
So
okay.
it should be. We're like 90% sure.
okay,
cool.
no promises though.
I don't want to. I like to under
don't wanna
promise and
jinx
over deliver.
anything.
Gotcha.
Kind of
gotcha.
deal here.
That's
That
smart.
makes sense. That definitely makes sense. But with all of that being said, let's predict some of these games. It's going to be our starting off point. We're going to start it by predicting the
Prediction
game,
time.
flexing a little bit of the brain muscles, as we like to say.
Now,
and I've got
Yeomans, are you predicting games?
I am predicting games.
Oh, wow,
Just like
you
I did
are.
last week.
Incredible.
And the week before and the week before
We
that.
have to protect ourselves from Eric.
Yes.
So the thing about it is we're going to have to start doing this. Like, we're going to have to lock this up on a Friday morning. All right? And then you have the key.
and I'll unlock
And
it.
then you unlock it. Because we don't want any changes.
Okay.
And
No,
Giafalo
I'm glad you
has
trust
this-
me with this responsibility.
Well, Chuck, we'll talk about this at the break.
Yeah, we'll talk
We'll
about
figure
it.
this out. See, there's something
Now,
evil about that.
I will say Kyle's smart because he moved it around, and all these are 7:30 kicks. So Eric can't
Yes.
go ahead and look and say, "Oh, look,
Oh.
this
I
team's
made
up
sure.
10-0. Let's go ahead and pick them."
So
looked
there are
pretty
4
good last
games
week.
that I have set aside.
Yes.
And we're going to start one at a time. South Grand Prairie at Mansfield is our first game. Two really kind of storied programs. These are teams that at different times in their history have had a lot of success. But this year, it's both teams trying to get off the schneid offensively. And we're going to start with Heckma first. Go clockwise around the table.
Oh, Heckma's starting
So
us
much
off.
pressure.
Who you got?
So much pressure.
South Grand Prairie or Mansfield?
I'm going SGP.
Okay.
I like the defense.
That surprises me.
Yeah,
I thought I was
absolutely.
going to be a lone wolf. I thought I was going to be a lone wolf.
No, I
Heckma.
like your guy. I like your guy. So SGP, I'm going with that defense.
Yeah, SGP does have those 2 really, really good linebackers. Miles Jernigan, I believe that's your
MJ,
dude,
yep.
right? Yeah.
MJ.
Mansfield at home, I think they got a big win over Legacy.
You think or you know?
What?
And
Wow,
I'm
called them
thinking
out.
they're going to win tonight. I think Mansfield's going to get the win at home tonight over SGP. I just have a feeling this is a really close game because, like you said, Kyle, both offenses have not been very good.
Sputtering.
But both defenses are strong. And maybe SGP has a little bit better of a defense, but I think Mansfield's going to make some kind of play, whether it's home cooking, whatever it is. I think the
Yep.
Tigers are going to get a big home dub.
Is this home? Is this isn't homecoming for Mansfield though? Is it right? We don't have.
I have
Mummies in the
no
air. We
idea
don't
on
have
that. I
homecoming
really
vibes.
don't know. And it's
All right.
possible it could be.
I don't know if it is or not.
Either way, I'm going SGP. I think
Okay.
just the overall speed, team speed, defensively, I think they do have a little bit better of an offense, even though neither one of these teams have great offenses. So I will take SGP on the road. Heckma, I'm feeling what you're feeling. Heckma.
All right, cool deal.
13 points per game for South Grand Prairie, 11 points per game for Mansfield. 23 points per game defensively given up by SGP, 24 for Mansfield. So you look at those numbers, and they're pretty close together.
Very
But the
even game.
yardage is in favor of South Grand Prairie, and I'm going to go with SGP here.
Wow, so it looks like Waldchuck's
I'm the lone
Chuck's the
warrior.
lone warrior.
Hey, and that's fine. And I'll tell you what, guys, I was very close to picking SGP.
Yes.
This was the toughest game of the 4 for me to pick.
Wow, I thought this was the easiest game.
No, I was torn between this one because I think both teams come in
Well, good. That
very,
means I did a
very
good job.
similar. And I'm riding the home field advantage.
Okay, moving on. We're going to start with Eric this time around. Mansfield Legacy at Mansfield Timberview, little crosstown rivalry.
Yes, and I'm going Timberview here at home.
I got the next game for you, Zach.
Okay.
No Catalan, and they lost Enoch Jackson
Yes.
last week.
I know.
That's a big one,
And
too.
you know Enoch was my boy.
Yes, he was. He was your
I was
guy,
a big Enoch
Wolchuk.
fan, not only because I love the name Enoch Jackson, but
Yeah, it's awesome.
he is
It's
a
a
heck
good
of a
name.
football player.
I got a better name for you. It's a little bit later though. Timberview also they won 54-7 last week. 500 yards offense. I think they're starting to click a little bit. I'll take Timberview at home.
Yes, I agree with that. I think Timberview, both these teams come in, it's the complete opposite of the other game. Both offenses really, really good,
Exactly.
coming just under 40 points a game. You look at Timberview's quarterback, Jordan Davis, already 9 touchdowns, and I think they have a bunch of different running backs that can come in and get the job done. Too much offense in this one. I'm going Timberview.
Oh,
Who you got?
I'm going Legacy.
Okay.
I think Legacy's
All
a better
right.
team. I really do. I trust Legacy. Even though they've lost some really good guys at key positions, I just think that they're a better team. Guys get the next man up mentality gets to take place here.
Yeah, that's gutsy. I like it.
Yeah, so I'm going Legacy at this one.
All right, I'm going to go with Timberview. So you are the Lone Ranger because I think the injuries are too much right now for Timberview or for Legacy to overcome.
Are you writing these down?
I have them all written down.
By the way, who won
I've got
last
it all.
week? Or who came in second? I know I won.
I haven't checked. I'll check it in the
No,
break.
I
and we'll
did
come
not
back to
even
it.
ask
Very
that.
good, very
'cause
good.
Yeah, I didn't even
he's
think
not
about
keeping
it.
track.
Cedar Hill and Waxahachie. Who you got, Zach?
Easiest game to pick. Cedar Hill will
Okay.
absolutely whoop up on Waxahachie tonight. Number 5 team in the area, one of the best teams in the state.
How bad?
Cedar
Are we talking
Hill,
50 burger?
I think they're going to win by 24 points.
I like it. Heckma, you're next, I think.
Yes, Heckma is next.
I knew that was going to happen. I felt
I'm
it.
going Cedar Hill. There's no way I'm going Waxahachie.
You sure?
It's just a down year for the Indians, and they
Yeah.
lost their best player, Damani Richardson.
It's just not happening.
yeah.
I'm going to go with Cedar Hill here, too. I think Waxahachie keeps us closer than a lot of people think. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by Cedar Hill, but I think they take the win. They've looked really good so far this year.
I'm excited to see how that ends up then because Walchuk's calling blowout. Just
Yeah.
disrespecting
He just did.
A little
I
bit.
am.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Well,
okay.
Obviously,
You don't lose your best player on offense, and you come in playing against one of the best teams in the state and expect to hang with them. In my
Cedar Hill
opinion.
is giving up 8 points per game. So, yeah, Cedar Hill all the way tonight.
So, final game, Arlington Martin at Arlington Lamar. And I'll start things off as the final game to pick throughout our night. I'm going to take Arlington Lamar at home over Arlington Martin. Martin took a tough one on the chin last week, and I think Lamar sneaks one out at Cravens Field tonight.
Yeah, Lamar averaging or only giving up 15 points a game.
Yes,
Martin's
tough
giving up
defense.
almost 60. That this is probably going to be a runaway victory for Lamar. And quarterback, I said I had a name for you, Jack Dawson.
It's a good name.
Jack Dawson.
Jack Dawson,
Not quite as good as
detective
Jack
name.
Doyle.
I was about to say,
but it's good.
the
yeah.
Titanic.
Jack Dawson.
Oh my
I
goodness!
don't
I
get
didn't
this
even
reference.
think
You're a
about
movie
that.
buff.
Yeah, but
Come on,
Titanic's
Walchuk.
one.
You gave him
Well,
away.
I didn't get
start
this.
hating. Don't start hating on the
I'm not
Titanic.
hating on
Heckma, back me
Titanic.
up
I'm
here,
not hating
Heckma.
on Titanic.
Come
Is it a
on,
good
Heckma.
movie? It's a good movie.
Solid.
Sure.
Jack Dawson's an
Jack
incredible
Dawson.
character.
But that's not one that it's just like boom, leap into my brain.
His drawing skills are unmatched as well, for the record, on Jack. By the way, Jack Dawson, 9 touchdowns this year.
I like 9 touchdowns.
With
So-
a name like Jack Dawson, I think I'm going with Lamar.
He's going to paint a beautiful
You're
picture
going with
tonight
Lamar.
of victory.
Yeah.
So
You're
Lamar all the way
wrong.
across.
You're all wrong. Martin's pulling the upset over Lamar. Lamar has not played anybody, in my opinion.
Okay.
They have a
Lamar's
good win
on upset alert.
They have a
Everybody
good win.
know that now.
They have a good win over Richland. Otherwise, they have played very, very
Wow.
easy competition. Martin has a proud history. They are going to come into this rivalry game. They're going to play a lot better. Sophomore quarterback Zach Mundell, he's going to lead them to victory tonight.
Wow, that's pretty
Jeez,
impressive
I
to look
like
at.
that. Walchuk putting
Hey,
him
some
on
confidence.
upset
Bringing
alert.
the fire early,
Yeah.
baby.
Shoulders.
I don't think it's that much of an upset.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think it would be that
Once
much
you
of an
come into
upset
district play, anything can happen.
Martin's going to win on pride tonight. They're going to get a prideful victory.
Prideful win, baby.
Prideful
for the
win
Warriors.
There's a
for
proud history there,
Arlington.
man. History repeats
Martin,
itself.
Lamar, whatever. Both games or both teams looking to pull out a rivalry game.
Prediction sure to go wrong.
There are a lot of rivalry games throughout the week here in week 5, and that's one of the fun things about it. One of those games, Zach, you have a little bit of extra.
Do you want to?
What?
A little extra involved in these rivalry games. Well, I've got an update for you, Mr. Zach.
Oh, do you now?
So your alma mater,
Yes.
Plano West,
What?
or no,
What?
Plano West is playing your alma mater. I was saying,
Disrespectful.
I was
You've
saying
done
your
that
alma
twice.
mater and Plano West.
Well, it's like Kyle's alma
don't
mater,
get too
Waco
upset.
University.
Yes, exactly.
boy.
Well, it's not Waco University. I was saying 2 separate places. Okay, don't get
yeah.
too worked up. Okay,
It's hard not to.
Plano is playing Plano West.
And my alma mater's which one?
You're Plano.
Okay.
West.
Well,
the old school.
Here's an update from that game. This is a look in from just a couple moments ago. We've got a score on the board.
Oh, my gosh.
In this game, and
and
we're going to go to it really quickly here.
Please, Kyron.
Cumbie touchdown.
No, this is Plano West running on the far side. You look at the far part of the screen, the ball pops out, and it ends up being recovered by Plano West in the end zone. I'm going to see if Chris can play that again. It happens very quickly.
Play it in slow mo,
Very,
Chris.
very quickly. It's on the far right-hand side of the screen.
Walchuk, don't cry.
Oh, wow. Yep, there we go. Kind of
This is
going
a
back.
punt. Is this a punt?
No, it's a kick return. Opening kickoff. And
Oh, my
that ball lost inside the 5, rolls into the end zone, and Plano West is there to recover it for the score. And Plano West leads Plano at Clark Stadium 7-0.
The Plano Super Bowl.
Starting things off right. tonight,
Wolchuk, you
Walchuk.
just look defeated already.
Look, if Plano wants to lose that game, that's what they're going to have to do. West is looking to win their first game in over 2 freaking years.
Upset alert.
Oh man,
This
yeah.
is not good.
You
That's
put
not.
Lamar on
That's not how
upset
you. That's
alert.
not how you want to start the game, but it's going to be okay. They're going to get
There's
the
a
ball
lot of
back.
football game left
Kyron
to
Cumbie,
play.
watch out. This is the night. Cumbie's going on fire.
Well, we'll get back to some of that game or some of those rivalry games and some of the other games. So first, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the Thursday final scores. Before we get into the Friday scores, we're live from the Star in Frisco. This is Whataburger Friday Night Stars.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway,
And he scored!
it even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say hee hee, ba 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 ba, and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it.
Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You can do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field. See the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room. And gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours. Presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
Back here for Whataburger Friday Night Stars, week 5 of the regular season. Glad you're with us here from the Star in Frisco. Let's go through some of those Thursday games that we talked about and we highlighted. Lots of good games this week on Thursday,
maybe the best game of the year.
One of the best games of the year,
absolutely.
For sure. And we'll go to that. I have a feeling you're talking about DeSoto Mansfield Lake.
No, I don't think that's that game took place.
Oh yeah,
that
whatever.
game was played.
Okay, well we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let's start off with Denton Guyer and Keller Central. This is a game early on in the night that Denton Guyer kind of took advantage of those Look at the rushing yards. Let's just put it there for Keller Central.
Ooh, wow.
Denton Geyer took advantage definitely from a defensive perspective.
Couldn't run the ball at all.
Yeah, no doubt about this. Denton Geyer got a big win to start off District 5, 6A play, 34-13, as you see there with the win over Keller Central. Big reason why Geyer was able to run the ball so successfully was Kadrick Cobbs, their number one player on offense, finally was back in the lineup. He would miss the first few games of the year due to an ankle injury. He comes back, starts a little slow. He's one of those backs where he gets better as the game goes along, and I don't think a committee approach is really going to work for Kadrick Cobbs. He had 25 carries, 184 yards. Eli Stowers, their sophomore quarterback, and this is a player for Geyer who has been a little inconsistent. He really worked off Cobbs very well, and they're able to get that read option going, and on the ground, Stowers 184 yards for himself. So that's what Geyer wants to do. That's what John Walsh comes in, wants to run that power run if you've got a dual threat. He's used to it when he had Gerard Hurd, went to Sean Robinson, not so much with Luke Stillwell. Now that he's got Eli Stowers, he's able to utilize that John Walsh offense. And ironically enough, you look at that final score, 34-13, and you're right. I mean, Keller Central, they were dominated by Geyer's front seven, which was a bit of a surprise because their offensive line isn't that bad, so credit Geyer there. The Chargers came out 7-0. They have a bomb to start the game. They're down 13-10 at half, and then Geyer, second half team. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I thought Geyer, they're great at making adjustments, and they came out, took care of business.
And that running it, that just being able to run the ball that way,
Yeah.
grind out games. You're right. You feel better in the fourth quarter than you do in the first and second.
No doubt.
And you
and
know
they're
that
able-
wore down that Central
It
defense.
did. And that Central team's runs that 4-2-5, like you like to talk about, Heckman, which works against the spread. Tough when you're playing against a power run team like Geyer.
Yeah, Geyer is just that team. They're going to drag it out. They're going to ball control, all of that. So Geyer is definitely a team. I like them.
Because they use a fullback.
Absolutely, they do. William Bohannon, that family of Bohannons that have come through Geyer, he's their fullback now. They've got a big district game next week on the road at South Lake Carroll. Last time they played at Carroll in 2010, they knocked off the Dragons, and they're looking to become the first team, believe it or not, first team in history to go in and beat South Lake Carroll at Dragon Stadium back-to-back times.
Wow. Dang. Great stat. Great nugget, Zach.
He threw that out there,
I'm trying.
He's doing his work.
I'm still just thinking about Plano right now, man.
Walchuk might be the star of the night for me.
Yeah, I know. You're a little upset about
a little
your
worried
Plano
right now. I got to get
Wildcats.
back and look in. Boys, what else we got? Rapid fire.
Yeah,
Fuego
okay,
Rapido.
all right.
Fuego Rapido.
Well, this is one that I don't necessarily want to go with the rapid fire on. This is the game last night.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
not
This
Naaman Smith and
deserves-
Colleyville Heritage. That's not what we're talking about from South Lake Dragon Stadium. But that's the game we're talking about. DeSoto and Mansfield Lake Ridge, two powers.
Wow.
And despite 4 turnovers last night, Lake Ridge
Incredible.
comes away with a magnificent win.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes, they sure did. And it came down to the wire. Look at that. Over 1,000 yards of total offense, man. And, it's funny. DeSoto owned the first quarter, started out with a 10-play drive, went for a touchdown, opened the game 7-0. Lake Ridge owned the second quarter. They scored 3 times. So at halftime, it's 21-16. Then you go to the fourth quarter. Look at this. Here's some highlights. Oh, I like it a lot.
Yeah, that was just fourth down struggles for
injury.
DeSoto.
We got an injury.
And
We got a
injuries
banged
throughout.
up player.
Oh, no.
Well, we don't have to talk over the highlights. Continue going
apologize.
through
I
your
apologize.
analysis. I know you get distracted sometimes.
Yeah. Well, fourth quarter, Tyson Alexander, DeSoto score, 29-28, a minute 28 left in the game.
Amazing throw, man.
Yeah,
Just
no
amazing
question.
throw.
That's the game winner right there.
Cover 2, and you would expect for the free safety to get over a lot quicker than that. That kid dropped a dime right there in that end zone.
Yeah, the offense was just incredible.
Here's the DeSoto touchdown.
Yeah, this is DeSoto. No, this is DeSoto still struggling on fourth down in terms of this. This is the game winner.
Yeah, this is the game winner
From
right here.
about 38
Chandler Rogers.
yards out. Watch this throw on the back shoulder with 2 defenders on him. Bang.
Boom.
Touchdown, Lake Ridge.
14 seconds left in the game.
Just an outstanding game.
Rogers limped off the field the previous possession, comes back in. There's a 4th and 12 on that game-winning drive that he converts with his legs, 15 yards, and then he goes down and throws the game winner, and he's showing us. I like that.
You got something to dance for.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
And look at this student section as well after they go over. They are
that's
hyped
just incredible.
after a big win over DeSoto. But once again, final score there.
It's a huge win for
34.
Lake Ridge.
Chandler
29.
Rogers.
Oh, it
man.
definitely
Their first year playing up here at 6A, and this is a school that's been a 5A perennial power. They went to the state championship a few years ago, and they've scheduled a non-district to play 6A teams. I didn't think coming into the year that would be a big jump for them, but they are in the district of doom there, playing against some real quality opponents. That is a huge win to beat DeSoto.
Massive win. And overcoming 4 turnovers is incredible. Chandler Rogers, 429 yards, 4 touchdowns, 68 yards on the ground. So this dude was really doing everything.
DeSoto's kicking themselves today. Like you said, first half, complete domination. I mean, obviously they thought they had the game won. They come back. Mansfield comes back second half and just rolls on them. Offensive yards, like 300 yards second half for them.
And it was a complete game, right? Their quarterback, Chandler Rogers, making plays, but their defense holding DeSoto on some 4th downs to keep them alive in the game. Getting those stops, man. Complete team win for Coach Stoll.
And that's the thing about Chandler Rogers. The throws that he made all night were spectacular throws. College-level throws, because he was fitting that ball into some real tight spaces last night.
And the game winner was no different. And then you think about on that drive, as I mentioned, 4th and 12, he goes on his legs, gets 15 yards, keeps the drive alive, and 5 minutes before that, he was limping off the field with an injury. And the dude just studies, probably going to go ahead, might go ahead and just name him my star of the night.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we'll get to that later on in the show. Another game last night with a couple different powers, or definitely one power, Euless Trinity. My goodness, they put on a show again, and we saw the student section from Mansfield Lake Ridge earlier in that clip just a couple moments ago, but you got a chance to look at, or you found a clip on Twitter.
Yes.
It's been retweeted by the Friday Night Stars Twitter, so go follow Friday_Stars and look at the pep rally that Euless Trinity held yesterday morning, but the pep rally was not for, definitely not in vain, because their team showed out on the field.
Yeah, they were incredible. It was their 21st victory in a row over their crosstown rival LD Bell.
Imagine the one year, though, that LD Bell finally gets the win.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be insane.
Yes. It's going to be incredible. It's almost going to be like how Plano West celebrates tonight for their first victory against Plano. You know, they might burn down the stadium. Anyhow, Euless Trinity, they got 2 turnovers to start the game. So, I mean, it's literally 14-0 with 7 minutes in the game. You know what I'm saying? 7 minutes into the game, they're up 14-0. And Brandon Theus, man, this dude coming back from an injury. 23 carries, 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dude was awesome.
Guys, beware of Euless Trinity. This is they're a physical team. They beat you up. Those kids from LD Bell are sore today. Let me tell you.
They've been sore for 21 years.
264 yards on the ground. And I mean, these are 3-yard brutal runs that these guys are going for. You're seeing the Trinity offensive linemen blocking these guys at Gatorade buckets. They just don't stop until the whistle blows. So that's a very physical team. They're putting everybody on notice in the Metroplex.
And then their quarterback, Ellis, you know, he had an efficient game. Nothing crazy, but 9 for 12, 120 yards and a touchdown.
Didn't turn the ball over. I think that's the key.
That's the key, man. And Theus and that running game is just spectacular.
It really is.
Yeah. Moving on from there, the game that was across the hallway last night at the Star in Frisco. Frisco Reedy and Frisco with an impressive win last week, a dominant win over Lebanon Trail. Well, they took the butt end of that Frisco Reedy train because they have been hot as of late, and they shut down the passing attack for the Frisco Raccoons.
My goodness, did they ever. Last week, is this 2 weeks in a row now? We got teams throwing for 17 yards in a game.
Well, last week it was 17 combined yards in one game with Garland and South Garland.
I don't know, man. This Josh Foskey kid for Reedy, I think it's time we paid close attention to Foskey.
His name keeps coming up.
Because he's not only throwing for 200-plus yards, he ran for 2 scores. That Reedy team, hey, Coach Todd Phillips told us last week with SOC, people are looking ahead to Frisco Reedy. They know they're for real, and they're going to be a playoff force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think that's a team that you can look at, and with the offense that they put up and the defense you see there, look at that secondary, just whatever they were able to do in terms of shutting down that passing attack from Frisco, it definitely worked.
Reedy's just very balanced in general. They play complementary football with their offense and their defense. They have solid on both sides of the ball. Not a lot of teams can say that, where you really trust your offense and your defense. Reedy can absolutely say that.
And on to the final game that we have highlighted on Thursday, Keller Timber Creek, against Northwest Eaton. And guys, this game surprised me a little bit. I was surprised that Timber Creek was able to shut down Eaton, but you say shut down Eaton. This was a defensive football game, not even just from the score, but neither team had over 100 yards passing, and only Eaton had barely over 100 yards rushing the football.
Kyle, this is what they call a snoozer right here. Not a statistical nightmare. Not a lot going on, rushing yards or what, and they pull it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of those people, I don't even have to see the score of a game. I pretty much can see the stats and tell who won, but Not in this game.
I think for Eaton, honestly, I don't think Eaton got the ball to Titus Swen enough in this game. And I know they've kind of moved him to receiver now with Dawson Pell being more the lead back. But you can see with limited carries, still Titus Swen is the back to get the rock. If you're struggling to throw the football, which they were, and you can't get him the ball in the passing game, put him back there and let him carry the rock.
Yeah, and it's the red zone offense for Eaton as well. They got a chance. They got some chances down there. They settled for field goals, and they had a turnover in the red zone as well, and 2 turnovers for the game. That's that you're not going to win.
But that's a heck of a point, man. With Swen, he is that kind of athlete.
Yeah.
And if you can't, you have to create plays for some. If you're going to get the ball in your best guy's hand, and that's what they suffered from last night for sure.
Absolutely.
And we've got 22 other games here on Friday that we'll talk about. Those are some of the Thursday scores. We'll go through the rest of them later in the show. But as we go to break, I do want to show you one of our favorites to talk about here on Friday Night Stars, E.J. Smith with Jesuit, of course, son of famous Emmitt Smith. Had a little bit of a touchdown run to start things off against McKinney Boyd in that game. As we'll wait for the highlight. There it is. Look at this. Little counter action. E.J. Smith goes into the pile. Watch this. Here he comes the other direction. Pops out of nowhere, and he's going to take it to the house. They trail 14-7, but not without the effort of E.J. Smith. We'll be back.
Deuce. Wow, looked like his daddy there, huh?
It
looked like his daddy
We'll be
there.
back with more Friday Night Stars in a moment.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scored!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it.
Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Hats, backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field. See the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours. Presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's a foot race to the 50, the 40. First kickoff of the game, and he takes it in for the touchdown. Kick return touchdown in the...
A little bit of Frisco Lone Star getting things started as we come back here on Whataburger Friday Night Stars. That's the opening kickoff for the Lone Star, I guess, special teams, that they take it all the way back for the score. Already leading in that ball game. It's Lone Star and Little Elm on the road, as well as we welcome you back here to the Star in Frisco. Kyle Yeomans, Heckma Harrison, Zach Wolchuk, and Eric Chiafalo bringing you Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Glad you're with us. Let's go through some of these scores, boys, and preview some of the matchups as well. Some of these games are already underway, or most of them are already underway. Allen and McKinney. Let's start this off with the number one team in the country, as we tend to do every week.
Well, you thought that Allen would come in and just steamroll over McKinney. Currently 10-7, a little bit of a tight game there. McKinney, a couple of good punts. I'll tell you what, their punt was so good, it was actually listed as a scoring play. It was a 42-yard boomer.
Wow.
No points from it, but they wanted to put it inside as a scoring play.
Love a good punt, man.
That's impressive. I got some nuggets on this one.
Okay.
So coming in, I think that most people are going to just assume Allen's going to run all over McKinney, which could be the case. We've got some stats going on right here. Obviously, lopsided. Undefeated is Allen. Winless is McKinney. But there are some common denominators here. McKinney's new head football coach is Mr. Marcus Shavers. Now, you might not be familiar with Marcus Shavers, but I can guarantee you Allen Eagle fans are. Marcus Shavers, an All-American on the 2005 Allen football team, went on, played at Arkansas, got a head coaching job out in El Paso. Turned that program around. He spent 2 years there. They had won 2 games the season before he got there. I think they went 18-6 in his 2 seasons there. Now he comes over to McKinney, his defensive coordinator, while he played at Allen. The current head coach for Allen, head coach Terry Gamble. So he comes in trying to instill some of that Allen Eagle mentality. In fact, his assistant head coach is Robert Boone, who also played at Allen. So
inside trader here.
McKinney trying to kind of build and form what made Allen so successful and has made them successful now for the last 20 seasons.
Jeez, Wolchuk is just absolutely on fire tonight.
You see it?
He's definitely
did their homework.
I thought Chandler Rogers was going to be my star of the night, but it might end up being Wolchuk.
You're always my number one star, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
All right, going from there, let's go to Denton Ryan and Denton. The Denton Ryan Raiders currently in a crosstown matchup. That's a good game overall. Actually, look, there's Naaman Forest again and Colleyville Heritage. That keeps popping its
Newman
head
Smith,
up
for the record.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's
Newman
also
Smith.
a game.
Excuse
That's
me.
also a game that's
But yeah,
happening
there's
play.
Denton and Denton Ryan. You look at really the matchup. You expect Denton Ryan and the Raiders to kind of come through and once again steamroll a team, but
With their defense. Their defense is going to score
Yes.
like 90% of their points tonight. Their offense will probably kick a field goal or two. The defense will probably have 3 returns for touchdowns, and it'll be wonderful for Ryan.
And I think week in and week out, we've been waiting on Denton Ryan to kind of explode and be that dominant program of the pass.
Well, the Hennigans are holding him back, right? Isn't it the Hennigans?
Look, I mean, Ian Hennigan is their head coach and their quarterback right now. Ian Hennigan's the quarterback, but Amani Bailey on the ground. I mean, that's really going to be the key for this offense. He already has a 34-yard touchdown, so Ryan is up 7-0. It's the District 4-5A opener for both schools. This is a rivalry, man. It's
tough.
Last year was on ESPN, a national televised game. This is a big-time rivalry in the area. It doesn't matter what the records are. You can throw them out. I think the Broncos are going to come out and play inspired football here, but Ryan is the better football team. I mean, you'd expect their defense that already has 6 scores tonight to go ahead and capitalize on really a Bronco offense that struggled. I expected more from their quarterback, Landry Kinney, coming into the year because he actually had a really good freshman season.
Yeah, right now he's 3 of 6 for 34 yards. But you talked about how this is a game that on paper you would expect Denton Ryan to steamroll Denton. Well, it's only 7-0. That one score is the only score, and we're already into the second quarter of that matchup. So it's definitely not a blowout as of yet. Let's move on to Flower Mound in Louisville. This is a Flower Mound team that I've kept my eye on for a long time, just because you think that maybe they have a chance to try and end that drought. Well, they're off to a 1-2 start, and it doesn't get any easier with Louisville on the horizon.
No, not at all. And I actually talked to the play-by-play guy for the Louisville Fighting Farmers, and Nick Nepic, a partner of mine at 105 Through the Fan. He said, look, this is probably a de facto playoff game for both these teams. The winner has a chance to be that 4th team that's in out of this district. The loser, probably on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big-time matchup. Anytime you can go up against a winning team in your district in terms of Louisville, and then Flower Mound has to try and take advantage of that.
Love the early season playing games, you know?
Yeah, well, and Louisville already up 6-0 on Flower Mound, and this is a Flower Mound team that they've been there before. They've just narrowly missed the playoffs. Kind of seems like a trend for the Jags.
Fort Worth All Saints and Bishop Dune. This is another big-time matchup.
It's Bishop Dunn.
Excuse me. You guys have
did that on
confused me.
purpose.
No,
you
guys have confused me all night long. It's definitely done, and I know it's done, but you keep saying Dune, and I'm confused.
We keep saying
Dune. You confused me all night long. Well, this is a TAPS matchup where I expected it to be close, but Bishop Dune has...
Done! God!
Stop it, Eric. Stop it.
All of the athletes are on Bishop Dunn. I mean,
Done.
literally.
They really are.
I hope you're done saying Dune,
Is
Kyle.
it Bishop Dunn or Dune?
It's done.
Well, Bishop
But you've said
Dunn's-
Dune twice now.
I said done just now.
No, you've said Dune.
I'll tell you
twice
what,
now.
Chris.
Okay.
If we have the ability to go pull the tape back
Please
later
do it,
on,
because I
really
said
wanna play
done.
that.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Well,
you
Bishop
know,
Dunn is winning this game right now 35-0. And it's at the start of the second quarter because they have dominated Fort Worth All Saints in a very surprising, and it's safe to say this game might be Dune already. Did I get it right?
With the jokes?
Well,
Okay.
Bishop Dunn only gives up 12.5 points a game. Just so you know. So they've given up 0 at this point. That's
Eric had
right
lots of
on
notes for
brand
this,
there.
and now it's just
I did. It's over. Now they're all
Well, tell
Dune.
me about this Bishop Dunn football team because they're sleeping and under the radar. They're filled with D1 recruits.
Yeah, no, I mean, the story of this team is really defense, man. Their defense is incredible. You see the stats up there. They only give up 12.5 a game. Last week, they pitched a shutout against San Antonio Cornerstone. So it's no surprise that they're dominating this game, but I wonder if it's all defense, if they got any defensive touchdowns. I can't get any updates on mine.
Yeah, it's
but
not up to
Walchuk
date.
seems to be getting all the updates.
And
I
remember
know
last
Mallory's
week
at
you
the
were
game.
talking about Beeson that went to Duncanville.
Marquez.
Just imagine if this kid was still on that
my
Bishop
goodness.
Dunn team. These
I
guys
think
are
he's
pretty
better
nasty.
off at Duncanville. They're going to play for the 6A state title, but I'm with you, man. They were literally down on that back end. They got my guy Marcus Williams.
Yes, sir.
Dune had to be disappointed when they lost that guy.
I'm so confused
Don't
and
you
so
think, Kyle?
frustrated.
Brian Williams, excuse me. I said Marcus.
You
Marcus
did.
Williams is also a safety.
That's right, at
I'm
least
so
say Bishop
defeated.
Dune.
It's Brian.
It's Dune. It's Bishop Dune. I've lost it. Frisco Lebanon Trail and Frisco Memorial. This is a Frisco Memorial team that has really struggled. Look at the points per game.
These are two bad football
Well,
teams.
actually,
Warriors.
Well, Chuck, we've got a little bit of an update on this ball game. 4 points per game for Memorial heading into the game. Well, look at this. They lead 24-7.
Holy moly, it's an offensive explosion for Memorial.
Memorial's starting to figure it out over Lebanon Trail. This is just across the way at the Ford Center at the Star, and you saw the stats there, but look at this play from Memorial from midfield over the top of the defense. It's a bomb. And then they would go to punch it in from there with this
They were sick of taking
1 yard
the
touchdown run.
That 4 yard passing offense or 4 point scoring offense is just
they're tired of taking it and not punching it into the end zone. Well, they do it there to get a early 24-7 lead. Frisco Lone Star and Little Elm is our next matchup. You saw it pop up there for just a moment. And this is a Frisco Lone Star team. We showed you the highlight coming into this segment, and they took that opening kickoff back for the score. Lone Star, is this a game that they should dominate from top to bottom?
You know what? The Lone Star defense is out. They're lights out. Outstanding. 3 of their juniors, and they're led by their juniors on their defense. You got Kalen Ford, Dylan Harris, and also Torrin Pittman, a guy that we've already talked about. Look, Torrin Pittman, again, is a kid that no one, he's kind of flying under the radar right now, but he's a tweener at defense. He's just an all-out athlete, a kid that plays in the slot, puts his hand in the ground, he stands up. They may even put this kid in at tight end every now and then. But this other guy, I want to tell you, 24, Jalen Ford, man, this kid will knock the paint off a school bus. He's just one of those. He's just a guy
knock the paint off a school bus.
I'm telling you, man, he plays behind his pads really well. Okay, every time he's making a tackle, it's like a ooh hit every time. And so both of these teams come into tonight's matchup scoring 25 points apiece. But the difference being that Lone Star only allows 6 points on defense.
Yeah, that's incredible, and they're led by their juniors.
And so what that mean?
Next year's gonna be fun too.
Lone Star's locked and loaded, man. They are really, really good on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I saw them live and in person with that defensive grudge match with Highland Park, but they've certainly got firepower on offense.
Yeah, and you can see that really any time they play, other than, like you said, that one game against Highland Park shows how good that Highland Park defense can be. By the way, Highland Park just returned a punt for a touchdown. They lead it 14-0 over Woodrow Wilson. We'll preview that game a little bit later on. Hebron and Irving Nimitz is our next game up on the schedule. And 2-1 versus 3-0. Did anybody really expect Irving Nimitz to be 3-0 at this point in the year?
Not at all. I really didn't expect much from the Irving schools, but Nimitz is holding it down for the city because Irving's not very good. MacArthur's in a competitive game right now, but I don't think that they're necessarily a playoff team. But Nimitz,
man, say holding it down
they're holding
for
it
the
down.
city.
They're holding it down for the city. Look, Irving is a prideful town. They are not going to just have all of their football teams stink and miss the playoffs. And Nimitz, they might be the team to be able to do it.
Nimitz was smart enough not to put Allen and Highland Park as their first and second game of the season. And they may have scheduled Lincoln and, I don't know, man.
They beat Richardson, Newman Smith, and Carrollton Creek.
There you go.
So there you go. Those are very winnable games. Give yourself some confidence. No disrespect to those schools, but
we talk about coaching philosophies, though. We talk about some of these schools like Horn throwing the tough part of the schedule.
Nimitz not so much.
They're throwing cupcakes out in the beginning. I kind of like it, though. Just get the tune-up games, making yourself feel good.
This is a fun game, though. 21-14 to start the second quarter. Right now, Hebron is up, and this one's just been back and forth. Hebron got up quick with the Jalen Lott touchdown run. Then Brandon Wheeler, who's been really, really good so far for Nimitz, had a big 34-yard pass for a touchdown to Chance Hernandez to tie it up.
Chance Hernandez.
Trajan Bridges comes back with the score. Then Brandon Wheeler back to Chance Hernandez, and then Trajan Bridges with a 31-yard touchdown for Hebron to give them back the lead. So these are two offensive teams just trading scores right now. It's almost like the Vikings and Rams from last night.
Oh, wow. That was a great game as well.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And Heckma's got his Viking purple iPad. This is incredible.
I always knew you liked Minnesota.
Always a big Viking fan. Well, we'll move on to Keller Fossil Ridge and Trophy Club Byron Nelson. And Byron Nelson really has struggled this year. Were you surprised by that? Eric, I know you're from that neck of the woods.
Yeah, definitely. And certainly, anytime you start 0-3, I wasn't expecting this team to do that. You remember they had that tough game against Grapevine, where Grapevine was just going crazy and their linebacker had a night to remember. But yeah, it's a shame. You start 0-3, and now you're talking about a Fossil Ridge team that has a really good defense, and this is probably going to be another loss for Byron Nelson. You would imagine they do put up some points, but the Fossil Ridge defense, man, is one that we've talked about quite a bit. They had that battle against Denton Ryan a few weeks ago, and that's probably going to end up being too tough for Nelson.
Yeah, Keller is definitely a team that, as the years gone on, they have taken on their identity behind their defense, which you hadn't seen a lot of teams in the Metroplex do that. It's been offensive extravaganza, but, Keller Fossil Ridge is definitely a team, another one that's making a bleep on the radar now.
No doubt. They're an overtime loss away from being undefeated right now, and they've had some big wins over that Hebron team right now. That's in a good football game, and then I think week 1 they beat Flower Mound. So definitely a disappointing start for Byron Nelson, but coming into district play, I think we've seen a lot of teams have slow starts out of district, then they come in and they go ahead and go on a run. They're not necessarily out of it just yet. I think it's a 7-3 ball game right now. They're hanging in there with Keller Fossil Ridge.
Yeah, and one other game we'll talk about before we take a quick break. McKinney Boyd and Jesuit. This is a game that we have Adrian Jagush at tonight, and Jesuit came in my opinion, as the favorite, but it hasn't gone in favor of the Rangers so far, just to be said as of right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's all you, my man. McKinney Boyd coming in undefeated, and what the heck's going on?
Yeah, Jesuit.
Winless.
0-4.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jesuit is that team, and literally, when it comes down to Jesuit, all you heard all preseason with E.J. Smith and how dynamic he was going to be. And so in my notes when I was looking at just kind of scouting this game, I just wanted to know, will the real E.J. Smith please stand up? Because he is one of those guys that plays all over the field. And if they're going to rely on his talent, give him the ball. Like you saw he did on that reverse. Very skilled, athletic guy. And he's literally all they have. And so just feed it to him.
Yeah, and it seems like E.J. Smith is playing well. He's got that 47-yard touchdown run, which we saw. He also has a 43-yard touchdown catch from Kevin Schumann. But where's the Ranger defense?
Schumann is a quarter.
It's almost non-existent right now.
And that's the problem, right? Because we saw them get absolutely waxed earlier on in the season. Arlington put a beating on them week 1, and then it seemed like maybe they kind of found their rhythm the last 2 weeks with wins. But it seems like the Broncos, they've come out and they've hung up 28 points on them.
McKinney Boyd, their quarterback, Christian Ziegler, this is a kid that was struggling coming into this game. He had only thrown 1 touchdown in four games, but tonight he's lighting it up.
Yeah,
defense.
And that's one of the big things you look at. E.J. Smith had that touchdown early. Other than that, McKinney Boyd has run all over Jesuit.
Jesuit's just been a Jekyll and Hyde team, man. You think that they've got pieces to be a contender, especially with that quarterback and that running back, but the defense has been wildly inconsistent.
5 minutes left in the second quarter in that ball game. So we're not even at halftime yet. McKinney Boyd already has 300 yards of total offense.
Crazy, man.
Pretty bad so far for Jesuit. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll run through some of the other scores going on right now and some of the other games in our highlighted area. Look at this. It's Plano.
Kyron
scoring a touchdown.
Get in there, Kyron.
Walks into the end zone, and we'll leave you with that. Mr. Zach Wolchuk will be back with more Friday Night Stars in a moment.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players, to run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field, see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room, and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours, presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer. Not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
Shoots, and he scores!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh and you can taste it.
Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
Welcome back to Whataburger Friday Night Stars, of course presented by Whataburger, also presented by Draper Media. Draper Media provides professional media production and branding services for corporate and sports organizations. Founded in 2010 by William Draper. Draper Media is now the premier brand of champions, serving the top Division I teams in college sports, professional sports, and leading television affiliates and corporations. Welcome back to Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Heckma Harrison, Zach Wolchuk, Eric Chiafalo, along with myself, Kyle Yeomans, as we bring you everything you need to know in the North Texas area in terms of Texas high school football. We're continuing our previews and updates throughout the North Texas area of some of the top games in the area. There are a lot of games to get to, guys, this week because there's Of course, the rivalries, district play is here, and a lot of good matchups. This next one, Zach, might be your favorite, though. Plano West and Plano. Tell us everything you know about your alma mater and then how they're going to beat Plano West tonight.
Well, coming into this one, Plano 1-3, Plano West 0-4. I've mentioned it quite a bit. The Wolves are looking for their first win since September 22nd of 2016. Plano looking to reclaim that rivalry, braggadocious mentality. They're coming in here looking for their third straight victory against the Plano West Wolves. And for West, I'll say this, man. I'll say they've got some firepower on offense. They have a couple of receivers that are quite good when it comes to stretching the field.
They're good for a total of 2 touchdowns.
You are so proud right now.
Well over 20 yards.
Wait, where'd that shirt come from?
I don't know where it came from. Eric,
have you had that the entire time?
Eric pulled it out of the hat. It's a maroon out right now at John Clark Stadium. I don't know if you noticed in those highlights, Plano wearing some of the most classic,
the throwbacks,
most beautiful jerseys in all of high school football. All maroon. Check the paw prints on the
color
helmets.
rush, the Plano color rush.
That's not even color rush, baby. That is just all natural. Plano in a tight one right now with Plano West 14-all. This would be extremely embarrassing if the Wildcats can't get it done. Plano, I expect more from you. Kyron Cumby's got a touchdown. Cody Christ, a big 77-yard touchdown pass to Oliver Towns, but West is hanging in there. This Plano defense needs to figure it out, man.
Your swagger is on 100 right now.
I know. And I bet, Walchuk, you probably look so good in those all-maroon
did I look
unis
good?
back in the day, dude.
No.
Is that your favorite look? The all-maroon unis back in the day?
Oh, it's always been my favorite look, man.
Good.
All
No, I bet
maroon,
you look
no
sharp.
doubt.
I bet you looked great.
Yeah.
Well, so
thing.
from 2 Plano schools to another Plano school, Plano East, they've got themselves a tough test tonight against Prosper. That's an undefeated Prosper team, and Plano East also undefeated.
Yeah.
Both 4-0.
This is one of the most exciting games of the night.
This is an outstanding matchup. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, this is 2 unbeatens in District 9 6A, and I know East is coming in feeling really confident about their defense. They held Boyd to just a single touchdown last week, and now look at what McKinney Boyd's doing against Jesuits. So East is for real this year, and not only that, I think what makes this game so good is because both teams are extremely balanced. East, though, I think maybe more balanced as an overall football team. Defensively, they're good, and offensively, they're racking up, as you see there, just under 550 yards a game on offense. Last week they had 6 scores. I know that they've had some good talent come through Plano East. Their head coach, Joey McCullough, says this is the best receiving core they've ever had, that he's seen since he's been at East, and he coached at Plano West and played them once a year before that. So East is coming in confident, but Prosper making that move up from 5A to 6A. We talked to Brian Sutcliffe last week. This is an Eagle team. They're not scared or intimidated about anybody, man.
Ed Sutcliffe brought it up last week, just what they're trying to build there and Prosper, and it looks like it's obviously working with that step up from 5A to 6A. They know they have their work cut out for them because this is just the first test of many in this district.
And I can't say they're doing incredibly well in their first test right now, gentlemen.
No, and these are
they're down 20-0.
Yeah, I mean East at home. That's a tough. This is really the wake up call for Prosper. Like they've done a good job so far. They won their first district game. Now they're playing against the big dogs. And East and Allen, those are the top 2 teams in this district. Prosper, could they put their name in that conversation? Right now, East is saying your time's just not quite yet.
Are they tapping? And they're tapping them on the forehead right now.
Hey, you're getting there. You're getting there, Keegan Shoemaker. You're getting there, boys. You guys got some talent on that side of the football. Wayne Anderson running the football, but we're putting you in your place for right now in 6A.
Wow.
Now.
And we'll talk with a couple individuals from this game. Derek Finch is there as our reporter right now, and then also we'll probably talk to Brian Sutcliffe, voice of Prosper Athletics, later on in the show.
He might not be as chipper as he was last week.
Yeah, he was very chipper last week.
He was loving those Prosper Eagles last week.
But as of right now, just got a text from Derek Finch. This game's actually in a delay. And it's not for lightning.
Rain. Okay.
Not
Good.
for rain.
Outage, right, in the
a
stadium.
light outage in the stadium, and we don't have any footage of it or anything. But overall, this is this is the second time we've seen this. Year.
I think that it's coming back, though. I don't think this is anything that's going to be a very lengthy delay.
It's still going on currently.
Kimbrough's pretty good. Kimbrough's pretty good about getting those lights back on pretty quickly. It's no Clark, but they're close.
It's still 14-0 at the start of the second quarter. They've been in a light delay for about 25 minutes or so as we are into hour number 2. Another game that we got to talk about is Southlake Carroll and Keller. This might be one of the best games we've had so far tonight in terms of scoring, and also 2 undefeated teams again.
Yep.
What a surprise. I mean, I think everybody thought,
Keller?
Yeah, for Keller to be up right now, 23-14. You know, the Dragons came out, they scored on their first possession, big play, and Keller just answered every play. You know, when they made a big play, they matched them. And so, guys, this is going to be a shootout at the end of the night. We're going to have to watch this game. Riley Dodgers, guys, again, when you think Southlake, you think offense, because that's why they brought him in to score a lot of points. But surprisingly, it's supposed to be the Southlake Carroll defense is really what's been keeping them in a lot of games, like our team, Denton Ryan. You know, two programs kind of on same pace, basically.
Well, I mean, Southlake does have Will Bowers is an outstanding quarterback. See, that's the thing right now with Ryan. If you wanted to compare those two teams, and defensively, I get what you're saying, but I think Southlake Carroll, in terms of knowing for sure you've got some offense to back it up,
McDaniel.
It's there. Yeah, T.J. McDaniel, Will Bowers, they've got some playmakers, but on defense, led by R.J. Mickens, who's making his presence felt in this one.
Absolutely.
Well, and we've seen Southlake get off to a slow start offensively in the opening game of the season against South Grand Prairie, and they followed that up with a fourth quarter of that game that was an offensive outburst. Let's see if they can do that again. But as you mentioned, the defense kept them in that game. Right now, they've already given up 23 points. They're down 9 points already in this game. So the defense is going to have to do something. But we've seen this offense get off to a slow first half start and then close the game very well. Maybe they can do it again.
And I think that the big thing for Keller is they've established the run game. And Chobo, their outstanding running back, has over 80 yards already in this football game.
What is that again? Chobo?
Chobo.
Gosh, the names, man.
Enoch. It's another Enoch.
Incredible.
It's another Enoch. Enoch and Chobo, who's one of the best running backs in the area for Keller. A big reason why they're undefeated at the start of the season. He's still red hot, and he's putting a pounding on the Dragons.
And that's the thing.
Wear him down, too, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the thing. When you see it, good running game, good defense, wins a game every time, sir.
So as we continue through the Friday scores and what's going on right now, we preview some of the best matchups. The game across the hallway is now at halftime. You know what that means, Mr. Zach Wolchuk.
Wolchuk's time to shine.
For the second week in a row, let's take a quick look inside the Ford Center, the Battle of the Bands.
Oh, the snare, baby.
Second week in a row. I think this might be the same band we looked at last week. And we've got a little bit of the music. It is the same band.
Yes.
They've got that seashell back.
Yeah.
Well, this is not recorded footage, I promise.
Yeah. This is live. This is happening right now. Look at that.
Live.
This is awesome. Battle of the Bands,
guys,
baby.
Man.
Just wanted to give a quick look, and we'll continue.
We need a memorial.
That used to be me. You're exactly right.
Well, Chuck, that used to be
But
you.
you're right. This is the second week in a row we've seen Lebanon Trail.
Yep.
No.
Nope. Heckma was not in band.
It's Mrs. Heckma.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, color guard.
We'll get back to football, though. We just wanted to itch or scratch that itch for you, Wolchuk. I saw that across the way. I knew you were excited.
Anytime we can get some band action, I'm about it.
Definitely so. Arlington Bowie and North Crowley is our next matchup we want to talk about. And these are two teams that North Crowley hasn't necessarily looked too great. Bowie looked really good to start the season, but it's kind of stumbled since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Bowie team that I pegged as watch out. And I thought last week's game against Rockwall, I was thinking maybe they could come out and give Rockwall a run for their money.
Not so much.
It was competitive.
And
Rockwall pulled away.
Warm-ups?
No, I mean overall it was a competitive football game. It wasn't a blowout. Yeah, it wasn't a blowout. I mean, it was close at halftime. Bowie's had time to have a week off to prepare for this game. It's scoreless right now. We know they're going to play good defense. The question is, can the Vols get enough offense? Right now, North Crowley in a deadlock 0-all, but I'm thinking Arlington Bowie's going to get this win. At least I'm hoping, because I can't predict a team to be a dark horse and them not produce for me.
Yeah, that would not be good, Wolchuk. That would not be.
It would not look good.
It would be a blemish on your rather perfect resume.
It would be a blemish on my soul.
Yeah,
blemish
it would not be
on
good.
the soul.
But
Well,
there's a lot of yards. I mean, both of these teams put up a lot of yards.
I mean, Malcolm
You would think it would be
Mays.
a
Let's
barn
go.
burner.
I know Malcolm Mays running the football for Bowie.
Crowley
Where
gives
is
us a
it?
ton of points. Bowie's got to come away with his victory.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely got a lot of time left in that football game, and we'll see what the score is here in just a little bit. But moving on, Arlington Martin and Arlington Lamar, crosstown rivalry. This is a game we predicted earlier. And Martin 0-3, Lamar 3-0. I think all across the board we picked Lamar in this football game.
No, I picked Martin.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
you
was his
picked
upset
Martin.
alert. Walchuk
Yes, my
put
upset
Lamar
alert
on
of the night.
alert.
Upset alert.
How's that working for you right now?
Ooh, Lamar's up 21-0. Hey, second half for Martin. It's all
Martin's
good,
a second
baby.
half team.
It's all good for
Definitely
Martin. They're coming
It's
back.
going to have to be a second
They're going to have to.
team.
I thought you said that proud
Captain
history.
Obvious.
I thought the proud history of Martin was going to propel them to a victory over Lamar tonight.
It might. It still might. That's not. It's not looking too good. Lamar's putting a spanking on him. Jack Dawson.
Lamar defense.
Jack Dawson.
I guess I
tell
shouldn't
you.
pick it against a guy named
I
Jack
told
Dawson.
you, Jack Dawson's going to paint a
the
beautiful
man.
picture.
It's
of
really
victory tonight for
been
Lamar.
Jordan Williams on the ground. He's got 14 carries, $115, averaging over 8 yards a touch. Also has a touchdown. And right now, Zach Mundell, the Manziel Magic.
That was your guy. That was your guy coming into the game.
Well, this game against Rockwall last week was a TXA 21 game, so I got to go back and watch some of it, and there was a little bit that I liked from that Mundell. He's a moxie, young kind of guy. Didn't seem like the moment was too big for him.
He was composed.
He was very composed out there. I thought he was going to come out and run the football well, but so far not so
happening.
much.
I do have an update, gentlemen. We just talked about Southlake and Keller.
Yeah.
What did Southlake do?
They score?
answered the call.
Ah.
A TJ McDaniel
Man.
8-yard touchdown makes it a 21-23.
The Knights
Keller
watch over there just
lead.
answering the call.
90 seconds to halftime.
That's a fun game, Keller and Southlake Carroll.
Oh, it's amazing. And we talk about crosstown rivals. I mean, that's a little bit of crosstown. I mean, I wouldn't say it's overly been a huge rival because of Southlake, but that is they're practically neighbors.
Yeah, explosive offense. The Dragons can score at any time. I just couldn't
South
get
Lake Carroll, you all
I just
right?
like south to south.
That's okay.
South to south.
South to south. That's not where we're at, but that's okay. In terms of some of the other games, we've got 7 games left to run through. Let's run through these quickly. Cedar Hill, Waxahachie. We talked about that one earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this was when I think we all picked Cedar Hill to go ahead and do pretty well in this game against Waxahachie. Waxahachie, we talked about, they lost their best offensive player, and it's 27-7. Cedar Hill all over the Indians on the road.
And then Longview and Rockwall, we've got Guy Frazier at this ball game. And Rockwall, even though they're 1-2, that's a very good football team, and they put up a lot of points. You can see it there in points per game, but Longview comes in unblemished on their season so far.
Both teams come in ranked in the area, and Longview's ranked in the state. I mean, this is a huge game that we honestly, I can't believe we waited this long to bring it up. It's tied at 14.
Right.
Wow.
Longview making their push up to 6A. Rockwall, we know what they are. We all like them. But this Lobos team is for real. I don't know if you guys have paid a ton of attention to Longview Lobo football the last few years, but this is a game Rockwall is going to have their hands full. Despite the fact that they're at home, Longview travels well. They bring a good crowd. They're a balanced football team. They play good defense.
I tell you what, when I was looking at this game last night, was scouting these guys, the first thing I thought, styles make fights. This is one of them right here. 2 heavyweight teams. But the thing about Longview, and the reason people don't know a lot about them, is they play a lot of those East Texas teams. So they don't get a lot of pub here.
The Lufkins.
Exactly.
But now they've moved into a district with Rockwall, with Mesquite Horn. We're going to see a lot more Longview.
Yeah. And so then there's not a lot of data on them either.
Take that for data.
Exactly. No data.
Yeah,
So
Rockwall's a heck of a team.
Yeah, moving on from there, Mansfield Legacy, Mansfield Timberview, another game that we predicted, but really these are 2 squads that Legacy, injuries, that's been the story of their season. Timberview, just kind of a disappointing start.
How's that working out for my prediction?
It's a close one. It's 8-7. Timberview up by 1 point. So, hey, another one of those rivalry games. You throw the records out, and Legacy, I think, on paper coming into this one, would have been very close. A lot of people probably would have picked Legacy. The injuries are the reason, and
no doubt, man.
With how good Timberview's offense has been, I think why a lot of people lean Timberview in this game.
Yeah. And then Mesquite Horn and Mesquite Horn finally looks like they could have a game where they have a get well scheduled matchup, and they could take down Mesquite.
Like
probably their team is begging district play to start, right? They're like, oh my gosh, we've played a gauntlet here. Can we please get
the words right out of
district
my
play
mouth.
to go?
The gauntlet is definitely what they've gone through. Couldn't have had a tougher schedule. Again, definitely chomping at the bit to be a part of the district play, and now they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, we've still got that Mansfield Legacy, Mansfield Timberview up there, but we are talking about Mesquite Horn and Mesquite in their matchup. And Mesquite
Tied at
Horn,
7.
Yeah, tied at 7 right now. Mesquite Horn 0-4 against a 2-1 Mesquite team. Gosh, you would think, looking at the stats, that Mesquite Horn would be the underdog here, but not at all. And it's because of the gauntlet that Horn has played. I still think this is a good playoff Mesquite Horn team that has a very strong chance to try and win that District 11 6A. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, I completely agree. Jermaine Givens just needs to figure it out throwing the football, much like Ward at DeSoto. He took it upon himself. He had a bad game, came back last week, was 33 of 36, and he threw the ball pretty well last night in a losing effort to Lake Ridge. Wasn't on him. Jermaine Givens has got it done on the ground. He has not gotten it done through the air so far this year. That's been a disappointing thing.
Mistakes for Horn have definitely cost them. That they should have won that game last week, and they just shot themselves in the foot, man.
Yeah, and that's a tough little emotional rebound from that is tough, but this is one you got to have if you're Horn, especially if you have expectations of doing big things throughout the year. And this is, you talk about getting their confidence up, because their confidence is probably as low as it's been right now, but you can at least chalk up all their losses to, hey man, we've been playing studly teams, you know what I'm saying? We're a play here, a play there, but at least we've been playing really good teams. This is the game where you got to get back on track if you're Horn.
I would definitely say this is a must-win.
I definitely think that's...
It's of the must-win variety.
I think you're right there.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's the first game of district play, but you can't start 0-5 mentality-wise. Your confidence will be shot.
Another game that is a must-win, maybe for both teams, Mansfield and South Grand Prairie. You look at the score, or look at the matchup and the graphic there. 1-3 for both sides. This could be a confidence builder heading into the rest of district play.
This is, a game that both teams really need to have right now. Mansfield up 9-7 with about under 4:39 to go in that second quarter. Hunt Young, a name that we love here, he's thrown an interception early for Mansfield. Outside of that, not a whole lot offensively in this football game. Kedrick Young got a touchdown run for SGP, but it's really been a defensive battle. Whoever can get to 20, I think that might be who wins this football game.
Yes, all we talked about is SGP and all the defensive guys that they have. So it's no wonder that this game is a stalemate.
Already 7 penalties though for Mansfield in the first half. That's something that the Tigers and Coach Mayberry, they got to clean up.
And then 2 more games we've got to get to. Duncanville at Richardson Berkner. Should this be a Duncanville blowout here?
Blowout.
You could expect it. I mean, Duncanville's a team that I picked to win the state championship this year coming into the season. I'd expect them to really take care of Berkner. They're doing just that, up 28-0, with the second quarter really just getting underway.
Wow.
Yeah, Reginald Stamples is loaded this year at
Marquez
every position.
Beeson, my guy.
Your guy,
man.
In so
was
many
he
ways.
Heckman's guy? Or?
No. We're going to give it to Gio.
He passed the torch to me last week. He told me he passed the torch.
Panther Stadium rocking right now. And then the last of our highlighted matchups, Highlander Stadium hosting Highland Park and Woodrow Wilson. Highland Park 4-0, looking for that third straight state championship run, and they're looking pretty good after a couple big wins in non-district play. Now they head into district play, and they are taking care of business right now against Woodrow Wilson.
No surprise, Shane Corwin's already got himself a touchdown. Finn Corwin, excuse me.
Finn the man.
Finn,
63-yard touchdown, and then the punt return, you said it, I think it was Case Savage, and an 80-yard punt return for the Fighting Scots.
You know what number that Savage is wearing, Zach Wolchuk?
What number?
Number 88.
Oh, for Cade Sostad. Well, I don't know if it's 4, but that is the number that Cade Sostad wore.
Yeah, for the playmaker. But that'll do it for our highlighted matchups. When we come back, it's the best part of the night. We start talking about live scores, and we start talking about some of our reporters bringing in some of that emotion at halftime, scores rolling in. We'll update you on all of them. This is a Plano West score, Zach Wolchuk, as we head to break.
No, we don't want this.
Well, now you're just getting audio. We don't even have it.
Wow, Chris is doing
terms
you
of.
favors.
I don't want to look.
Yeah, he didn't want to let you look at it.
Chris, I love you. You're my guy.
We'll look at that Plano West when we come back on Whataburger Friday Night Star.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scored!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee hee, ba 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 ba, and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You can do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field. See the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours. Presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
Friday Night Stars, and there's Plano West finding their way into the end zone, much to the disarray of Zach Wolchuk. Look at the crowd there, though, at Clark Stadium. That place is hopping. and that is a very highlighted rivalry. And here's Rockwall on the other end at one of the best games of the night. Rockwall, Longview, barrel your way into the end zone, young man, as the Yellow Jackets strike first. That game, I believe, is tied at 7 right now between Longview and Rockwall. As we join you back at the Star in Frisco, Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Glad you're with us. Just a couple of the touchdowns that we've gotten footage from our reporters on. We'll talk to some of those reporters here in just a little bit, but as we start going through these scores, it's finally this is the time where we get to look at actual scores and run down a list because of the rain over the past 3 or 4 weeks, we have not been able to do so. We're going to start off with 6A. The 6A scores, Zach Wolchuk is going to take you through the 6A scores, and after you're done with that, we'll talk to Adrian Jagish here in just a little bit.
Ooh, I can't wait. Hopefully we get more highlights coming in. Also, got to give kudos to our reporters. They're doing an excellent job sending us a lot of good looks. I mean, I know I don't like to see the West touchdown, but an awesome highlight there. Rockwall getting it done. But let's go through.
We saw E.J. Smith getting a touchdown.
E.J. Smith. I mean, I think we got more out there. That Kyle, get on it, brother. We got more we can show. We got more we can show.
Figure it out.
But you guys want some 6A scores?
Give it to us.
Because we finally have some to go through, and it is district action. 6A football. Irving MacArthur, Coppell, tied 14-all at halftime. Allen and McKinney. What do you think? How big's Allen up? How big's Allen up, boys?
Big.
By 107.
Placing bets. 107. 20. Kyle, you're the lone wolf.
I think they're up by 30.
Close, 31-7. They're up on McKinney.
Okay.
The Fight Farmers of Louisville holding it down over Flower Mound at half, 13-0. Wiley up gigantic at halftime. They're up 50-0 on poor Garland.
Wow.
A Wiley Pirates team that had not won a game coming into the season. Boy.
That'll get your confidence.
They're feeling right. They're
and Garland
feeling right.
won last week in their state, the city
I know.
rival.
Right?
When you said Garland,
just-
I thought you were thinking. I was thinking Naaman Forest.
No.
No. This is Garland High. They're
Wow.
down 50-0. 35-7. Garland Lakeview Centennial up on South Garland. Hebron 31-14. They pulled away on Nimitz. That was a game that was back and forth.
I bet Bridges has had himself a game.
Yeah, I'm sure Trajan Bridges. We'll get more deeper into the stats and stars of a Friday Night Stars show later on in the game. But right now, just the scores: 31-14. Fossil Ridge is up 7-3 on Byron Nelson. So
surprising.
No change since we last talked about that. So Byron Nelson hanging in there. Not surprising though that it's really Keller Fossil Ridge's defense that's carrying the weight there. 28-14 at half. Boyd on Jesuit. We'll have an update from Adrian here in just a moment. Tied at 14.5. Plano and Plano West. I mean, I know you throw records out the window, but this was one I was really hoping Plano would have salted away by now. 26-7 East up on Prosper, one of the best matchups of the weekend. 13-3 North Garland on Rowlett. 23-21 Keller and South Lake Carroll, another game to watch. Bowie, where's the offense coming? They're up 14-0. They just had a couple of quick scores. They're up on North Crowley. Arlington Martin. That's what I'm going to get wrong. 35-0. Lamar absolutely spanking the poor Warriors. 34-14. Cedar Hill is all over Waxahachie. Arlington, Sam Houston up 14-0 on Fort Worth Pascal. Arlington up 35-0 on Fort Worth Trumbull Tech. That's an Arlington squad as our guy just keeps chasing the record book, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Jahari Rajas just keeps on going. 21-14 in an absolutely titanic, colossal matchup between Rockwall and Longview. Rockwall with the edge there. Grand Prairie 16-0 on Summit. 7-all between Mesquite Horn and Mesquite. Richardson, J.J. Pierce up 14-0 on Molina. Richardson up 35-7 on W.T. White. Duncanville all over Berkner 35-0. Skyline and Lake Highlands in a really high-scoring game. Almost halfway through the second quarter, 35-28, Skyline up, but Lake Highlands just scored. So Lake Highlands, they were down double touchdowns. Now they cut that lead just to 7. South Grand Prairie scored. They're up on Mansfield, 14-9, and that is your 6A rundown as of right now, with all kinds of info coming in.
Beautiful.
Lots of 6A info, like you said. Let's go through some of the reporters that we have at these games. Do want to give some of the highlights. You mentioned Adrian Jagish. We'll hear from him in just a moment.
Go, Adrian!
Guy Frazier is at Longview and Rockwall. McKinney Boyd Jesuit, that's where Adrian's at right now. Jackson Dunham gave us a great look from Little Elm and Frisco Lone Star.
Where's Pickle?
Pickle is at Plano West and Plano.
Let's focus on that game.
I sent her to the best game of the week. Paige Norbach is going to check in with us at halftime from Woodrow Wilson and Highland Park. Fort Worth All Saints, Bishop Doon, Mallory Hartley is there. Sorry.
Dang it.
Are you saying that on purpose now?
I think you did it on purpose. No, it's a bit now.
I think it's a bit.
Saji Adam is at Arlington Martin and Arlington Lamar. It is a bit now. I just want to see when y'all don't notice it.
I know we're always
We're
going
on it like Hawks, like Hebron Hawks.
That's pretty good. I like it.
Thank you.
Let's go through some of those 5A matchups before we get back and listen to Adrian as well. I also got a Longview highlight on the way.
I want as much from Longview's Rockwall as you can possibly
There's
give
a
me.
pretty good highlight on the way.
I
once
want
we
a
get
buffet
it going.
line of Longview Rockwall.
I noticed in that Longview Rockwall highlight, Rockwall's orange for the Yellow Jackets.
Looks like Clemson.
Yep.
Yeah, and
but they're the Yellow Jackets.
And it's just, it kind of throws me off a little bit.
I've never actually considered that, but that's an excellent point.
Because you have yellow in your mascot's name, and you just totally say, nope, stiff arm, we're going to be orange.
Yeah, there's really nothing about them, even their logo. It's just the big R for Rockwall. Like, nothing resembles Yellow Jackets whatsoever.
I'll tell you what, man, this Rockwall team, you got to watch their quarterback. This guy.
Oh, Jacob Clark. Yeah,
I'm calling him Jacob the Jeweler.
Oh,
Clark.
Jacob the Jeweler. Is that because of your little image for your recruit? Yeah. I hope Chris is bringing that back this week.
We need to talk about that when we talk about our players to watch. But right now, 5A scores. Eric, you got it ready?
Yeah, I got you, man. Colleyville Heritage, 44-0 on Newman Smith.
Spanking.
Right now. Wow. Yeah, RL Turner's getting smoked as well, 59-7 to Birdville. Denton Ryan's up 21-7 at halftime right now on Denton. Denton Braswell and Lovejoy. Lovejoy's up 20-10. We've seen Lovejoy put up some crazy offensive numbers this season and last season. But Frisco Centennial and the Colony. Colony's up right now 28-14. Frisco Heritage and Frisco Wakeland is a 35-21 Wakeland advantage. Lebanon Trails down 14-24 to Frisco Memorial.
Oh, so that game's actually two bad teams, but they're playing a competitive football game.
Yeah, and that's right here in our backyard at the Ford Center here.
Shots fired.
And then Lone Star and Little Elm. Lone Star's up 7-0. They took that, I think it was the opening kickoff return for a touchdown, and then no one scored since then. They are in the third quarter now. Grapevine is putting it on Carrollton Creekview 42-7. They're about to kick off third quarter. And then let's see here. My Northwest Texans are doing their thing against Fort Worth Southwest, 35-7 right now.
I wonder if Moses is out.
Oh, yeah, he's
Part in
definitely
that Red
out.
Sea?
Part in the Red Sea, no question. No question. Legacy, Heckma, up 13-8 right now on Timberview.
Wow.
I think Heckma was a lone wolf on the
That's
Legacy
surprising.
Right there.
Hey, I
looking
like that.
good, Heckma. Looking
I like
good.
that.
Burleson.
I went on a limb on a couple, so I love the fact that you did that.
And you failed miserably on your upset alert.
Hey, you know what?
It happens.
You don't try.
You may have to wear a
gotta get the
tutu when you
biscuit.
do that, when you fail miserably.
Yeah, yeah. Which is what he
Why?
should have
Then
done.
then we're limiting
after the
people.
Mesquite Horn Allen game.
Then we're limiting people going out on a limb.
I do
try and
like
pick
when-
an upset.
Yeah, the limbs are great for people to go out on. I mean, that's true. You want that. You want that. If anybody's wearing a tutu, where was Heckman's tutu after the Mesquite Horn Allen game?
Hey,
it's fair.
Stop bringing up old stuff. I'm just talking about right now. Let's live in the present.
Let's live in the moment.
I'll wear the tutu. I'll own it.
Well, in this moment right now, Burleson Centennial's up 10-7 on Midlothian. Roy City's up 7-3 on Forney. Lancaster's up on Samuel 21-6. Ennis is up on Terrell 7-0, and Highland Park 21-7 over Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah, that's a Woodrow Wilson team that kind of hung in a little bit. It was 14-7 at first, and as we continue through our scores, do want to look across to the Ford Center because Lebanon Trail, don't look now. Memorial led this game early, 24-7. Well, Lebanon Trail just got on the board. We're waiting for a replay as this game continues. This is just a couple moments ago. Do you like those uniforms from Lebanon Trail?
I'm a big fan of the helmets.
I like
for
that.
Sure.
I like that a lot. It looks
I like
almost
that they stay on brand with the green and instead of going with like purple trails or orange yellow jackets, something like that.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of UAB.
Yeah, a little bit. Look at this from their own
the left
side of the field.
Spinning it.
Look at this. Dime. Right on the money. He ran away from everyone.
Left-hand
Lebanon
quarterback.
Trail.
He put that one on the
I
rope.
know. I love the lefty quarterbacks.
He's got a good look here.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good throw.
Yeah.
Led them perfectly.
That was gorgeous.
Well, Lebanon Trail's on their way back. They trailed that game at one point 24-7. It's now 24-21 at the Ford Center just across the way. We'll continue going through some scores, but we're going to take a little bit of a break here, try and get some of those highlights up. But one of the highlights that I mentioned earlier, Longview against Rockwall. Let's take a look at this highlight as we go to break. Look at this catch. My goodness. Boom. Bobbled, and he holds on. Whataburger Friday Night Stars. We'll be back in a little bit.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Hats, backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field, see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room, and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours, presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scored!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
From earlier in the night, Plano West fumbling on a long touchdown pass as it ends up in the end zone, and Plano West actually picks up the recovery for the score. That's Plano and Plano West. Of course, Zach, I know you don't like seeing
What the heck
that.
do we want to play that for?
Because it's the craziest play of the night so far.
Was it? I think that touchdown catch for Longview was 10 times better.
It was pretty good, but that's a good game right now. Plano
That is
West
a good
and
game.
Plano
That is a
at
good game.
halftime tied up at 14 apiece. We're knocking on the door of hour number 3 here on Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Glad you're with us. We continue to go through some of the scores of tonight's games. We've looked at last night's games. Of course, DeSoto Mansfield Lake Ridge was a barn burner all the way up until the end. We'll talk to some of our reporters here in a moment. Heckma 4A and under. Let's talk about some of those scores and what's going on in that division of the world.
So listen to my epic voice, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, epic
You like
voice.
that? All right.
Booming.
My Harrison sex appeal.
Yes. So, Salina, 50-7 over Sanger. Shutting them down, boys. Shutting them down. Argyle is up 49-0 over Texarkana Liberty. And Ponder is getting it to Boyd has got him 28-7. Not even a matchup. CC so bad, so cold. Carter Cowboys are up over North Dallas. That's as my computer reboots. 27-3. Yeah, the Carter Boys are they. You know what? That's a program, man, that you're just waiting to get back to the prominence of the past. Kennedale up 43-0 over Fort Worth Castleberry, and oh my God.
What?
Is it Lincoln?
I
know when he gets that reaction.
no.
It's the alma mater, and it's
Is it
something
that
Lincoln.
bad?
I just cannot. Lincoln. Well, Fort Worth Nolan is up 45-0.
Fort Worth Nolan's the real deal, though, man.
Of course they are.
It's a
They're
good
the
football
real
team.
deal. They're better than the real deal.
You know who's not the real deal?
Exactamente. Rock is up 28-11.
Why don't you
over.
apply to be the new head coach at Lincoln?
You know what? I'm applying to be right here with you, Walchuk.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
So
there you go.
Sunnyvale is up 21-7. That make me feel better. Sunnyvale is up 21-7 over the Madison Trojans. Midlothian Heritage is up 16-12 over someone that my purple iPad just updated me. Don't leave
It's
me
okay.
out,
Hey,
guys.
that's all right. There's a lot of updates coming in. We don't need to worry ourselves about that.
No, I got a good one. Hold on, guys. That was Waco La Vega. Midlothian.
Kyle, anything about La Vega that you know?
Waco La Vega is a strong team, and they've come up here to play Nolan. They've played Argyle. They've had an outstanding non-conference schedule. That's a team that's a year in, year out state championship program. And they play Argyle Liberty Christian this week. I'm intrigued. What's the
that's a
score
good
of this
game.
game?
That one was 16-12. Midlothian Heritage winning.
Oh, Midlothian Heritage. Sorry.
Yeah.
Close football game. No, La Vega. Well, they're up on La Vega, right?
Right.
Yes. Well, I said they played Argyle Liberty Christian. I meant Midlothian Heritage was their opponent in that ball game.
And so the last score I got here, guys, is Alvarado 35-17 over Carrollton Ranch View.
What about Prestonwood? We got anything from Prestonwood? I think they're up on Houston St. Pius, also in that. Taps, Prestonwood, Austin Stogner, my guy. I think that's a rematch of the Taps State Championship game from last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think Prestonwood is up 30-14 in that game right now. So, man, Prestonwood Lions, and we might have the head coach over at Parish Episcopal calling in here in a little bit. We'll talk to him, pick his brain. They've got a heck of a tough slate at the end of the year. I think Prestonwood's on that schedule. Prestonwood's just one of those little schools around here. We've talked about Bishop Dunn. We've talked about Fort Worth Nolan, the All Saints, some of these private school teams. Every year, they're the model of consistency, just a winning program there at Prestonwood.
Another winning program throughout the state of Texas, though, Highland Park. We talked about it earlier, and we've got Paige Schnorbach on the line from Highland Park. And Paige, first off, it's not as big of a deficit as we kind of anticipated heading into halftime. Highland Park struggling early, or not struggling early on, but just not pulling away the way we thought.
No, let me tell you, and even 28-7, it doesn't reflect kind of how hard Highland Park has had to work. They came out early and scored 2 touchdowns. It was 14-0, and it looked like it was going to get away from them. But then Woodrow Wilson immediately responded, and from then on, it's been a very contentious game.
Yeah, and what does Chandler Morris look like so far? Of course, he had the touchdown pass to Finn Corwin that was across the middle. What has he looked like, and how has he played against Wilson so far?
You know, he's actually looked a little frustrated. This is the 5th time I've seen him play this season, and I just got to say he hasn't looked as settled. And that's got to be because Woodrow Wilson is performing much better than expected. In fact, in first quarter, defensive coaches were telling the defense, stop getting cocky. This isn't a team you can ignore. And soon after that, the game started to turn. So Chandler Morris is kind of getting frustrated that he can't make things happen the way he has been used to and the way he wants to.
Paige, Zach here with you. You sound, to be honest, a little disappointed with Highland Park. I know you've gotten to see just about every game they've played over the last few seasons. What is it Highland Park's not doing as well as they're accustomed to, or what is it that Woodrow Wilson's maybe doing well?
You know, Highland Park has been making some silly mistakes. There have been missed catches. There have been missed tackles. They just haven't been looking like the consistent team that they have. I will say for Woodrow Wilson, what's been interesting, and Kyle, you can attest to this, is that Highland Park is used to playing teams that are rather far away. So when they come home, the other teams don't travel. It's not as much of a hostile environment. But Woodrow Wilson is less than 4.5 miles away from Highland Park. Their stands are packed with fans. There has been chants of, I believe that we will win. We all remember that one. And it's just been kind of a much more hostile environment that Highland Park is used to playing on their home turf.
Paige, what has Woodrow Wilson been doing defensively to give Morris these fits?
You know, it's halftime right here, and it's a little loud, so I didn't quite catch that one. If you could repeat it.
Woodrow Wilson defensively, you said Morris is kind of not looking like himself and acting a little bit different. What do you think Woodrow Wilson is doing defensively to kind of throw him off his game?
You know, Woodrow Wilson defensively has just played really well. Their guys up front are being aggressive, and Highland Park's offensive line is having to go toe-to-toe with them. Chandler Morris has been under a lot of pressure. He's having to read the defense and make his decisions quickly.
Paige, can I ask you, do you know how to pronounce the quarterback for Woodrow Wilson's last name? Lucas Wolchin, is that right?
It's Wolchin, yes.
Wolchin, okay.
Okay, well, there you go.
Almost like Walchuk.
Learn something new every day.
And he is the one responsible for Woodrow Wilson's sole touchdown right now.
There you go. What was it, Wolchin?
Wolchin.
With a J.
Wow. Okay, so almost Wolchuk. Almost, yeah, it is pretty close.
Wolchin.
Is that why you asked that question?
No, I just saw it, and it's not a name that I knew how to pronounce, so I figured let's take a stab at it. I know Paige will know it. She's a master pronunciation.
She is definitely a masterful sideline reporter. Paige, thanks so much. We'll definitely talk to you soon.
All right, no problem. Good to talk to you guys.
Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the game. Paige Schnorbach, Woodrow Wilson, and Highland Park. What Heckma?
I mean, the expectation level is so high. They're up 28-7.
No, that's Highland Park.
They're spanking them.
And look, I'll tell you what, if you're someone that covers that team, if you're someone that watches that team, they're up 28-7, but if they're not doing what Highland Park's accustomed to do, yeah, that's a fan base that's going to let you know. And I'll tell you what, head coach Randy Allen, a perfectionist, there's a reason why he's won more games than any other head coach in the state. He's letting them know exactly what they're not doing right now at half.
Yeah, you look at that is not right. That was the other way around. It said 28-7, Woodrow Wilson. It is Highland Park up 28-7. It's not as bad as what we originally said, but we are talking negatively about a team that's up by 3 touchdowns. I agree with you, Heckma.
Look, when you're back-to-back state champions, the bar is higher than the typical bar.
So like Eric asked, he's like, what are they doing to give this guy fits? Nothing. He's torching them.
They're not scoring on every single possession, so he's upset.
Every time you see a scout running on a highlight, this guy is wide open and there's no one else around. So I don't understand what's going on here. Guys, they have 203 total yards in the first half. They are spanking these guys. I mean, aside from the one turnover, I guess that's the one miscue they have.
Yeah, Chandler Morris, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. I guess he's got 1 interception, and he's not happy with himself about it.
He slammed his helmet down.
They haven't been able to establish a run game. I mean, credit Woodrow Wilson. Yeah, they've only allowed 31 yards on the ground. So that's something for Highland Park.
I'm just saying, guys, look, I've never been a part of anything that is like that is a high expectation right there when you're beating a team by 3 touchdowns and everybody's saying, hey, what are they doing wrong?
Yeah, no, it's just like Allen's just playing terrible tonight. They're only up 31-7 right now in the third quarter on McKinney, and Allen's just clearly didn't show up.
That's called don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, guys. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, we are being a little tough on Highland Park.
Yeah, a little bit tough.
I don't know if it was us necessarily. Paige comes in and it's just, guys, this is it's almost as if they're down.
Well, it was 14-7 up until the last couple minutes of that second quarter. We do have a highlight coming in. Saji Adams sent this from Arlington Martin and Arlington Lamar. This is a long pass. We'll look at it here just a second. We're waiting for that highlight, and
there it is.
There. Oh, no, that's Mallory Hartley giving a report.
At Bishop Dunn Stadium, and all I can say is, wow. The Falcons have completely dominated the Saints on both sides of the ball tonight with a score of 38-0. Bishop Dunn's defensive back, Brian Williams, has already had 2 pick sixes and 1 touchdown on a punt return, and it's not even the third quarter yet. So he will definitely be a player to watch here in the second half. I do have 1 injury to report, though, for the Falcons, and it is number 9, Brennan Scott. He did hurt his ankle early in the second quarter, but he has returned to the game. So I will give you more updates on him if he hurts it again later in the second half. That's all I have right now, and I will be back with an update at the end of the game. Back to you guys in the studio.
So a surprise report from Mallory Hartley, but she gave some great stats
Hey,
on.
Mallory can step on in whenever she liked to.
That was awesome.
That was, and I love hearing about my guy Brian Williams, 2 pick sixes.
Man, he is
best
running it.
Best recruit in the area. He's flexing his muscle, showing you why.
Wow, 48-0. Or that was the score last time. Don't have the update in terms of the statistics there, but she gave it to you there. That was the Fort Worth All-Saints and Bishop Dunn. Now let's take a look at the touchdown that we were talking about from Arlington Martin and Arlington Lamar. Arlington Lamar in the blue over the top of the entire defense. You saw it on the left side of your screen there, just very, very faintly, but it was a pretty good throw. I saw it earlier, and I just kind of dropped my jaw in awe of the throw that was made as Arlington Lamar leads that game 35-8.
Shout out to Jack Dawson, man, putting it wherever he wants to. 9 touchdowns coming into the game. He's adding to that right now.
It's not Martin's time anymore.
No. Lamar is no longer on Walchuk's upset alert for this week.
No, Lamar,
we can take him off the upset alert.
Lamar, you're playing your little tookies off, man. But for Martin, they're just not playing. It wasn't a shot against Lamar. I just expected more from that Martin program, and they're getting whooped up on.
I figured that proud history was going to put them over the top.
I thought so too. Thought that they would at least be competitive.
Not today.
Not so much right now. Not so much.
So you kind of talked about and alluded to an upset alert, any game like that. Let's look through some of these top-notch games. Is there any team right now that is on upset alert? Allen, no. 34-7. Denton Ryan, not necessarily. They're just about to start the third quarter. They're up 21-7. Denton hanging around, though.
I got one. Little Lamb.
Boom.
Little Lamb has tied this game 7-7
with Frisco Lone Star.
Yeah,
7-7 in the fourth quarter. That one already in the final chapter.
That would definitely be an upset.
How about Plano East and Prosper? How's that game going at halftime?
Well, it's 26-7. Plano East is up big on Prosper, and
is that an upset in your mind?
No.
You think Plano East the entire way?
I thought Plano East would win this game. I thought that, maybe what's disappointing and not necessarily an upset or anything, but I thought Prosper would be a little bit closer. I mean, I thought this one would be tight, and there's still a whole half of football left. So it's not over by any means, but East has really had their way, not only through the air. Brandon Mallory, 15 of 21, a pair of touchdown passes for Plano East, but on the ground as well. Trey Scott Jones and Joseph Carter each have a touchdown. They've alternated carries. There's a lot of balance there. And East defense, I mean, they're the real deal. You want to talk about a team that maybe has a chance against Allen. Heck, I know you're searching for teams.
I am.
East is the one that I think will give Allen a run for their money this year in district play.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, the way that they're playing a very good Prosper Eagles team right now. Another good game that's just about to start in the third quarter. McKinney Boyd and Jesuit. We've got Adrian Jagish at that ball game. Adrian, tell us about what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially halftime here at the Jesuit Dallas Rangers versus the McKinney Boyd Broncos game, and people are floored. They're surprised. They are in disbelief because right now, McKinney Boyd is leading the game 28-14. I think everybody expected Jesuit Dallas to win this game in an easy, breezy win because last week they had a back-to-back win, and the Broncos were on a 4-game losing streak, and looks like the Broncos might turn that around. I'll keep you guys updated with more updates.
Thanks so much, Adrian. And that has since gone from halftime into the third quarter. E.J. Smith with a 12-yard touchdown run. So Jesuit working their way back. 28-21 is that current score, but still not the game that we really expected out of the Rangers. And this isn't the first time we've said that throughout the show.
No.
Hey, I got another game, guys, that we hadn't talked a lot about, and this is the North Garland Rowlett Eagles.
Yes.
Game. This North Garland is up 13-6. This is another heavyweight game here where both of these teams come in with good records. I think Rowlett was 3-1. North Garland came in undefeated, but everyone is still expecting Rowlett to win this game. But still, only 2 field goals for the Eagles offense that's been explosive up until this point. North Garland is up 13-6.
Yeah, and credit North Garland. They're a historic start to this year, 4-0 in this game, starting district play against a Rowlett team that's a perennial playoff contender. Be a huge win for North Garland. I think it would legitimize them this year as being a force.
North Garland's got a great name on their team, and this guy's got both their touchdowns tonight.
What is it with you and names?
Well, it's just the Metroplex has amazing names.
We do.
I mean, we have stumbled across unbelievable names. This one's no different. For 2 touchdowns tonight, North Garland, Uzochukwu Ebenama.
You did it.
I think I nailed
close.
It.
Can I buy a vowel?
Yeah, well, you can buy about 10 off me with that name right there. I think
it's Uzochukwu.
Okay. Well, you're the expert.
There were a few of these that came through Allen. One of them played at Texas A&M, but it was a last name spelled very similar to this person's first name.
Gotcha. So no relation.
I don't think so.
Great point by you, though.
Yeah, he did make a point, but
I don't know if it was a great one, but I appreciate it, Eric.
No, it was.
Dude, that was a great pronunciation by you, man.
Thank you.
You guys are too much. Zach, before we go to break, let's hit some of those other 6A scores, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth whenever we come back for hour number 3.
Absolutely. Allen up 34-7. They tacked on a field goal. Denton Ryan up 27-7 now on Denton High. They're now up by 20. Heckma already mentioned Lone Star and Little Elm tied at 7. We just talked about East and Plano East on Prosper 26-7. Rowlett down to North Garland 13-6. Keller and South Lake Carroll at half. It's 23-21.
Ooh, that second half's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Cedar Hill, I think that's a wrap. 48-14 at half on Waxahachie. Watch out. Cedar Hill, after a disappointing season last year, missing the playoffs, they have come back hungry, and they are on an absolute tear. I don't want to be on Cedar Hill's schedule. Longview and Rockwell at half, 21-14. Rockwell up 15-13. We got a battle in Mansfield. Legacy and Timberview are throwing haymakers at each other. This is a tight football game. 15-13. Timberview up on Legacy at halftime. 14-7. Mesquite's up on Horn, guys. The Skeeters are up on the Jags. 14-7. Heckma.
Can't win for losing.
This isn't good. This isn't good for Mesquite Horn. If they drop this game today, guys, we've got problems.
We dubbed this a must-win, didn't we?
It's a must-win. They got to dig deep. They got to dig. They got to claw for that inch. They got to come out in this second half and get it done. 42-19. Duncanville up on Richardson Berkner. You gave that La Vega score. Midlothian Heritage up 16-12.
Did he just give any given Sunday? Did you go Al Pacino right there? This guy is amazing, guys.
Might have gone Al Pacino there.
Where's Willie Beeman when you need him?
And then Highland Park's up 28-7 on Woodrow Wilson.
That's the same score that we had at halftime, now moving into the third quarter of that game. Another score that is still the same, but Lone Star is driving. It's still 7-7. Lone Star has the ball on the Little Elm 33-yard line with 9 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. That's
Guys, we got a tough one here.
That's crazy.
This, Irving
Mack and Coppell, 21-14.
What a game, guys.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's a close one. Flower Mound scored, so Flower Mound is just down 13-7 to Louisville. Hebron all over Irving Nimitz, 31-14, still 7-3 with Fossil Ridge and Trophy Club Byron Nelson. We talked about Boyd and Jesuit Adrian there. He's given us all that great info. 28-21. Plano, my Plano Wildcats up 21-14 on Plano West, but the Wolves are still struggling. They're hanging around. Plano can't just break free and go ahead and make this one not
frustrating
not
to you?
It is, because Plano West, in all honesty, is not a good football team. And if Plano wants to be a playoff team, they need to come out and take care of business.
That's why they call it a rivalry game.
That's true. That's true. And you know it's always going to be close, but it's just one where sometimes just because it's a rivalry game, you want to come out and just impose your will. Right now, Plano, maybe they can change things in the fourth quarter, but this is a close game.
So you wanted one of those wily 50-0
Yes,
scores by now?
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do what Allen's doing to McKinney and just be up like 34-3, something crazy.
Just put it away early.
So, as we get set for hour number 3, I know we've talked about the rivalries and we've talked about some of the district play and we've talked about your Plano West matchup. Well, I've got something extra special, Zach. Extra special for you.
Is it a battle of the bands?
It's the battle of the bands. Plano style. And we've got sound this time. We'll let this take us into hour number 3. This is Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Zach Wolchuk, Battle of the Bands edition.
Finest band in the land, the old school.
Does that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field, see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room, and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours, presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer. Not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scores!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to.
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee hee, ba 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 ba, and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
Back here on Whataburger Friday Night Stars, live from the Star in Frisco. Hour number 3 as we get set to lead you up to everything you need to know on North Texas football and Texas high school football in the North Texas area. Glad you can join us. Kyle Yeomans, Heckma Harrison, Zach Wilczuk, and Eric Chiafalo. Couple scores just to run down for just a moment. 34-7 Allen over McKinney. Denton Ryan 27-7 over Denton. That Frisco Lone Star Little Elm game still tied up at 7 apiece. Frisco Lone Star continuing their drive. Plano East over Prosper right now 26-7. Rowlett trailing North Garland 13-6. South Lake Carroll 29. Keller 23. That game in the third quarter, and South Lake Carroll's about to punch one in again. They're inside the red zone.
Jesuits climbed all the way back. They've tied it at 28 against McKinney Boyd, and Irving Mack just scored. They're up 21-14 on Coppell.
Yeah, what about Jesuit, man, climbing back in that game?
Yeah, how about it?
What they needed.
28-14 at the half. They made some adjustments. They must have saw something and said, hey, guys, come on.
I bet E.J. Smith has something to do with that.
Well, he was having a great first half. It was really just defensively. They weren't able to get any stops against the Broncos. It seems like maybe they came out in the second half a little better.
And we talked about this a little bit in terms of the non-district schedule for Mesquite Horn maybe playing a little bit of factor with that confidence. They trail Mesquite right now 14-7.
Wow.
So Mesquite Horn still struggling to try and get that first win of the season, that game at halftime. But let's take a break from a little bit of the scores that we have. Oh, also Rockwall 21, Longview 14. Great game.
Rowlett and North Garland tied at 13 as well now.
Ooh,
I know we want to take a break from the scores, but there's just so much magic going on.
They're coming
We're
in
used to having cancellations, guys.
That's true. We've got a lot of time to
and
fill.
Lone Star did get a field goal, so they're up 10-7 now on
Okay, well, there you go. So as we continue, we'll update you on the scores as they do pop in, but let's take a little bit of a break from that and give our players to watch. This is kind of in the middle of the games. We kind of break things up heading into hour number 3 with our players to watch. Some of the best players around the area, shine a little spotlight on those individuals as much as possible. Usually I'll go to Chiafalo first and start things off, but I'm going to switch it up. Heckma Harrison.
Wow.
You're going to start it off.
I got
Get us started.
I think Heckman's doing a better job tonight, so I think that's
Hot
fair.
seat Heckma.
I can't
Heckma
disagree
has
with
been
that.
doing a
Heckma,
better
don't
job.
steal my player. Good gosh.
Oh,
Heckma,
that's
you steal my
that's a
player.
good point. I like what you're thinking there.
I'm ahead of the game this week.
There you go. Guys, I'll tell you, I got a guy. My diamond in the rough plays at Bishop Lynch, small school, private school.
Yeah.
But this kid is all world. Okay. My man Grayson Murphy.
Oh no, that was Eric's guy.
That is not.
Oh my gosh! You out here stealing my guy
that
like
is
that?
cold-blooded. Don't
Gosh,
you do
that's
that to me this week?
disrespectful.
I'm sorry. I joke. I play.
Hey man, this guy plays linebacker, outside linebacker. Amazingly, this guy goes out to a slot receiver. There's my guy. You got a 6'1". Well, no. This guy is definitely not that guy because this kid.
We've got that's from Trajan Bridges a week ago.
Yeah, that's not my
6'1".
guy.
That's not the
Look
Grayson
at that.
Murphy measurable.
Look at the picture, though.
Hey,
That's a better representation.
I was going to say, because that dude looks way bigger than 100
Well, I really
missed
the Heckma head with the
thing,
diamond.
you know, the
Yeah,
diamond
you
in the
missed
rough.
the diamond. Yeah, that was cool.
So listen, man, my guy Grayson Murphy is 6'3", 220 pounds, a hitter.
Yes.
This guy, and I want to make sure that I mention this in every week. What I'm looking for, guys, is these 2-star guys, 1-star guys that are really getting an opportunity to play Division I ball, that are going to get an opportunity to play. We're going to see him immediately, and he's a guy that's going to get in, and he's committed to the University of North Texas, guys.
Ooh, do you believe?
I'm so excited
in the
for
mean
this.
green, baby.
I'm telling you.
Goodness, that is
now
awesome.
this guy,
Official partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
this guy is
And
going
our
to
alma mater.
get an opportunity to play immediately. But I'm telling you, he plays slot. He plays out on slot receivers. Puts his hand in the ground. Plays middle linebacker. Plays outside. Speedy guy. If you watch him on huddle, he is on every tackle, literally.
Gotcha.
And so I was talking to Wolchuk about this at the beginning of the telecast, guys, that literally I'm starting to notice to stop this RPO, defenses are going to put in their guys, their biggest, their athletes, out on the outside so they can contain. So this is the kind of guy he's going to be for the University of North Texas. But also, guys, I got to throw this in there. This weekend, my family is going to be at the University of North Texas to see my uncle, Joe Green, get a statue.
Oh, wow. Mean Joe, huh?
Of it. Outside of Applebee's.
Well deserved.
Man,
well
this
deserved.
is, hey guys,
time, really.
and I want to tell you, like, he's a guy also, wasn't, highly recruited, and went to the University of North Texas, and I think the rest is history, right?
Yeah, most certainly it is. North Texas did a great job, by the way. They put a nice little commercial video
You see
together.
that?
Yeah.
Those
throwback
uniforms are
uniforms
gorgeous.
this week.
Just kind of an old tip of the hat to the Dr. Pepper, or was it the Coca-Cola commercial in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was. And so for one time,
we're in Texas. Let's be honest. Dr. Pepper is kind of the king.
Not in this case. We're talking about the one most historic commercial ever in time. It's timeless. But for one game, they're unretiring the number 75 and allowing one player to
Hambone.
I like that.
Darius Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
And this kid is they couldn't have picked a better guy to give it to him because he is all world.
Does he have to get like 3 sacks and a strip fumble to really rep that jersey?
All of that.
Well, I'm curious about your guy again, though. I mean, we're talking about Grayson Murphy here, 6'2", 215. Like, what kind is he? A 3-4 outside linebacker?
All of that. I mean, if you see him, he's in every position.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, he's an all-around type of player and somebody that I'm definitely excited to see play at my alma mater in North Texas. I know you guys are also North Texas graduates as well, so it should be fun to watch. Now, before we get to Chiafalo's player to watch, before we get to Wolchuk's player to watch, we have a coach to watch. How about this? We've got a coach on the line. He's the head coach at Parish Episcopal, Dan Novikov. Last night, a big win over Trinity Christian Academy and the Trojans. 48-10 was the final score. Preston Stone with 14 of 21 passes for 245 yards and 5 touchdowns. Coach Novikov now joins us here on Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Coach, first off, thanks for joining us. Second off, how was last night and how fun was that in a rivalry game to try and come away with a win as emphatically as you did?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the time. But, to answer your question, we went into that game not really knowing, we thought we had a pretty good team. But, coming out and playing like that in the first half, I was really pleased with how the kids played, especially given the fact we moved the game the last minute to Thursday, thinking we were going to have weather. Obviously, we're not good meteorologists, but they responded well, and they came out guns blazing, and Preston especially played outstanding. So I'm just really proud of all of them. Our defense too. We got Will Galusha from Highland Park. Last year was the linebackers coach. He came over, and he's our defensive coordinator, and he's turned that defense into something that's stout.
Coach Zach Wolchuk here with you. You guys have had an unbelievable start to the season. You touched on a little bit about your quarterback, Preston Stone, who's also already 19 touchdowns just 4 games in. How good is Preston as just a sophomore? I think people forget just how young he is.
Oh, yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. He's like, I tell people, he's like having Peyton Manning with Johnny Manziel's athletic ability. So
that's a compliment.
Like a rare combination of both, and he's incredible for just being a sophomore.
Getting the coach from Highland Park to add to your defense, what specifically has he done? Has he changed schematically or brought to the table for your defense?
Yeah, he we're in a 4-2-5 now, but it's just the way they, you obviously guys know the way they go about doing things and the system. They're he just brought us a discipline and an attitude of toughness, and his coaching is outstanding. We've just been able to really get the kids to buy into playing team defense, and that's really, in my opinion, been the biggest difference between our team from last year and this year.
Hey, Coach, this is Heckma Harrison. I want to ask you, with all of the rain delays that we've been having over the last couple of weeks, how's your preparation changed? Because you could have a game scheduled on Friday and it would move up to Thursday. Has that changed anything for you?
No, other than you don't get the normal preparation time. So our kids, we always tell them to be ready to play at all times. I make them bring their jersey to school every day just in case. You never know what's going to happen. I'm not kidding you. One day we changed the game at Wednesday night at 11:45 p.m. and played that Thursday. So you never know what's going to happen. But the weather, I've never experienced anything like that. But we had one canceled on us, so now we're gun shy, and we want to make sure we get them all in. If it even looks like it's going to rain, we changed it to a different day so we can play the game.
That's definitely a smart decision, and a lot of people kind of forget about the coaching matchup last night. You versus Mike Singletary, the head coach at Trinity Christian Academy. What was it like coaching against Mike Singletary, and not only coaching but beating him by 38?
Oh, I've got the utmost respect for him. So, it's kind of surreal to look over there and see a Hall of Famer across the way coaching, the guy who's coaching the NFL. So it's kind of like you ask yourself, is this really happening? And then, he was nothing but gracious and great, and he's going to do an outstanding job over there. I think he's a great coach. They're going to build something special when you have a guy like that leading your program. But, you just look at it and you can't help but pinch yourself, and I remember being a little kid watching the 85 Bears and that defense. So it's pretty neat.
Did you ever lock eyes looking across the field? Were they as scary, as intimidating as they appeared to be from highlights?
No, I tried not to. No, we didn't. We spoke briefly after the game, and he was, like I said, nothing but gracious and first class.
Awesome. Coach, we talk about your quarterback, Preston Stone, but who else on your offense has really impressed you that maybe some people maybe don't know about yet?
Oh, we got a group of receivers that I would put up against any group in the state, starting with Preston's brother, Parker, who's got an SMU offer, and then we got the 2 Overton brothers on the outside that are twins that are 6'4" from Allen that can both. I think both of them are averaging over 30 yards a catch. And then you got Tyler Hamilton, who's a returning senior, who's got 3 or 4 touchdowns. They're all over 200 yards receiving. They all have several touchdowns. So they're hard to defend when they're going, because there's 4 of them that can all go. And then to top it off, Logan Rayburn is the returning district leader for our district in taps, and he's playing on defense most of the time. But he also last night had a 46-yard long one. So those 5 guys make it pretty difficult on defenses along with Preston. And then our offensive line has 3 kids with offers on it, and Jalen North and Sam Burns and Austin Serrano. So, those are the guys that Preston gets a lot of the notoriety, but I think he'd be the first to tell you that it's the other guys that really make this thing go, especially the 2 monsters on the outside with the 2 guys on the slot. It's hard to cover. And then we got a tailback that's Cedric Benson's cousin, and another one from Irving MacArthur, Karin Lynch, and Darius Boyd. That's a 3-headed monster. So there's a whole lot of. The hardest part I have is I wish they could play with 2 footballs so we could get everybody the ball enough. So
boost their numbers a little bit. I like it.
Well, Coach, you've done an outstanding job making Parrish one of the elite programs in TAPS for this year, and you've got some stiff competition coming up with Prestonwood Christian Academy and Bishop Dunn coming up on the schedule. How do you think you guys match up with some of the perennial powerhouses from TAPS?
Oh, we like to think we match up. I guess we're going to find out, right?
Yeah.
The games are scheduled, the refs are hired, so we're going to find out in a couple of weeks. But I hope we match up well. We're that's our goal, is to win every game they put on the schedule. So we'll see here shortly, but I like our team. I just, we'll find out.
Yeah, you definitely will, Coach. Good luck in the next couple of weeks. Some big-time games with Fort Worth Christian, Bishop Dunn on the horizon as we get set to really get into the meat of that schedule. Coach, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
There he goes, Dan Novikov, head coach at Parish Episcopal. That was an impressive win last night against Trinity Christian Academy. That's a good football team, of course, coached by Mike Singletary. And we've known about Preston Stone for a long time, but that was a team win last night.
Yeah, it really was. And he, Coach right there iterated all the talent that they've got on the offensive side of the football. Just a lot of wealth from across the DFW community. But anytime you got a quarterback that started as a freshman, transferred from Highland Park, was getting Matthew Stafford-like comparisons growing up in that Highland Park pipe tree.
He said Manziel Payton.
He's a kid that can run, but he's got the intelligence. He's got that athletic ability to kind of just make magical plays happen with his legs like a Manziel, but then he's got the football intelligence to be able to just go up to the line of scrimmage.
That's a heck of a combination right there.
Unreal.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And there's a reason. I mean, Preston Stone is probably going to have his pick to go play Division I college football before it's all said and done, wherever he wants to go.
Well, he's got good genes because his brother said he's got an SMU recruit, and he's a receiver.
His brother's a big boy.
Yeah, well, and he talked about the two twin brothers who were both 6'4", from Allen. I mean, my gosh, these guys must have a juggernaut out there.
No, it's awesome to see Parish now being able to take on Prestonwood. I talked about them a little earlier. They've perennially kind of been the team in taps in that area, but Parish is the real deal this year, boys.
Yeah, they definitely are. Another team that is the real deal, or at least they look like it, Arlington Lamar up on Arlington Martin. We've got an update from Saji Adam, and I have a feeling this is going to be anti-Arlington Lamar or Arlington Martin, because Lamar has definitely dominated. Saji, what's going on there?
The first half is officially over here at Cravens Field. The Vikings are leading 35-8, and honestly, it should be 35-0. But on a fake play to end the half, somehow, someway, the Warriors did the fake and got a touchdown. But other than that, Zach Mundell for the Warriors has really been struggling. He's been running all over the place. The only reason this team is pretty much alive is because of him. He's been keeping the football game alive with his legs. He's been running all over the place. It just seems that every time he has the ball, he just starts off running. On the flip side, for the Vikings, here at home, they have home field advantage. They're having fun. I mean, you look at Jack Dawson. I mean, he has 3 touchdowns right now. He's just playing out of his mind. He's easily picking apart this defense. He has so much time in the pocket. Wide receivers just are dominating. They're really good route runners. They're getting in the end zone. The defense is creating turnovers, and that's one thing that's really been killing the Warriors is the defense of the Vikings. I mean, there's at least been 3 turnovers. There's been 1 on special teams. There's been a pick 6. There's also been fumbles. The Warriors really have to change their entire game plan. I mean, they have to come in and try and be as focused as possible, maybe try and be more aggressive. As for the Vikings, they really need to just keep doing what they're doing. Just stick with the game plan, give Dawson the ball, and he will just get in the end zone. But that's it for the first half. I'll be sure to recap the final recap of this game, but back to you guys at the start.
Thanks so much, Saji. Yeah, dominating first half from Arlington Lamar. You talked about Jack Dawson. We've talked about him a lot today. 13 for 17 right now for 153 yards and 4 touchdown scores.
What a talented guy, man. On and off the field. Kills it in the movies, kills it on the field. I mean, Jack Dawson.
But would you believe it if he's not with the best score line, best stat line on the field right now?
For that game?
Mm-hmm. No. Jordan Williams. Running back.
Yes, yeah, he was killing it.
16 attempts, 164 yards.
Wow, he's killing it.
Now, Lamar clearly doing it on all phases of the game.
Poor Mundell. Mundell's out there running for his life. I mean, he's getting no help there with Arlington Martin.
Not getting any help at all. Now that we've had a couple reports fly in and we get to kind of sit back again, Wolchuk, give me your player to watch this week.
My player to watch this week, okay. I'm going to Rockwall. And it's not on the offensive side of the football, believe it or not. It's Anthony Orji, a safety outside linebacker who is committed to Vanderbilt. Now, this, if you're a Rockwall fan, the Orji brothers, man, they've been a massive gift because Anthony is a younger brother of Alston Orji, who's playing at Vanderbilt now. You wonder, why did Anthony go? I mean, he had offers from Auburn. Had offers from Arkansas, could have gone to Baylor, could have gone to Colorado. Very intelligent. Vanderbilt, an excellent academic school, but his older brothers, they're playing as a freshman now. And then they've got a freshman wide receiver, Alex Orji, So 3 awesome brothers, but you look at Anthony and you turn on the film of this guy, or you watch him play live. I got to see him play Highland Park in the season opener, had an interception in that game last year. This dude, physically imposing. I mean, looks the part. And you were just talking about how that outside linebacker, and he's also a safety. He's kind of a rover. Almost, they'll play him in the slot a lot. He can hold his own out there in coverage. He is the perfect blend of linebacker to match today's NFL.
Right.
You've got to have guys that can run, chase, cover.
More of a strong safety.
Definitely. And that's what he is. Kind of like a Deion Buchanan for the Arizona Cardinals. Had an outstanding career in college, first-round draft pick. As a safety, they move him down inside the blocks. Thomas Davis went to Georgia, was drafted by the Carolina Panthers, was a safety at Georgia, converted to linebacker. That's what Anthony Orji is. But I think he's also got the physical frame, depending on where he goes. He's multiple. He can play various formations. If you want him to play 3-4 outside linebacker, he can do it for you. I haven't seen a ton of pass rush ability from him, but he's a great attack, straight down the line run defender. Yeah. And he wraps up, makes tackles. Every once in a while, he'll have the wow, boom, big pop, but he's just a consistent, steady football player. Anthony Orji, a dude that can play multiple positions, any kind of defense, just a football player. Vanderbilt's getting a heck of a backer.
His closing speed. Like I said, one of the things I was watching when I saw this kid, it's just when you see him, he's closing on guys. They're not running away from him.
Yeah.
And when he gets his hands on you, you're down. He's not, but this guy doesn't do a lot of arm tackling at all.
He squares up, and he always takes good angles.
Yes.
And he's always watching the quarterback. If you watch him play, he's always keying on the quarterback eyes, reading the field. Very instinctive and intuitive player. Just finds the football. And Rockwall, a team that has a ton of offensive production, he's the captain and the leader of that Rockwall defense.
Is he going to be? You see him being a linebacker at the next level?
I think he'll be an outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Gotcha. Well, and that's such a valuable position to have, especially now, like you mentioned, in today's football, having those maybe a little undersized linebackers, but fast, good in coverage, able to cover running backs out of the backfield, because offenses are just living on that right now. Those running backs out of the backfield. If you have a guy that can take that away or guard a tight end, these athletic tight ends that we see now, that's just a great thing to have. He sounds like a stud.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I love Anthony Orji. From the moment I got to see him play live, I was like, man, keep tabs on that kid. Now he's one of the best recruits in the area.
He had a pick six last week?
Yep.
Like 90
to seal the game, yeah.
Yeah.
A crazy pick six.
All right, your turn, Chief.
All right, so we're saving the best for last.
Saving the best for last.
You don't have a guy this week?
I don't have a guy this week.
Oh, so you can't steal his guy.
Nope.
Yeah, thank God.
Darn
all right,
it.
good, because my guy is an absolute animal. Quaylen Jones. Trinity Christian Cedar Hill. Deion Sanders' squad. We talked about them last week. They got a heck of a football team, and this dude is a stud running back for them. He's a 3-star guy. He's committed to Baylor, so shout out to Kyle. I know you're a you're a Baylor Bear, even though you're also a
I'm definitely North Texas over Baylor, but I grew up in Waco.
Definitely. So. You got some Baylor ties there. So this dude's going to be a stud for you guys. Look at the size on this kid. 5'10", 220 pounds.
Look at the arms on this kid.
I know. That's the thing. He's ripped up like Rambo.
Should they be testing him? I mean, this guy is almost too chiseled as a high school football player.
He's unbelievable. Look at that arm right there. It's crazy when you watch him, because he's also super fast. I mean, 4.5 speed. He's got the burst. He's got the 37-inch vertical. So the dude, he can do it all.
He's just a freak, really.
He really is a freak. He really is a freak. And it seems like he has a 50-yard or 60-yard touchdown run every single game. Like, you watch the highlight tape of this guy, every game it's 50, 60-yard touchdown runs. But he's so big and so strong that he can also just grind out a game for you 4 or 5 yards at a time.
And that's what happens.
Yeah, and right now he's averaging 9 yards a carry. Last year he averaged almost 12 yards a carry. He had 18 touchdowns. This year, right now, 107 yards a game, 9 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns so far. I would like to see him do a little more out of the backfield.
Yeah.
But you're also talking about a Trinity Christian Cedar Hill team that is loaded with talent. They got guys all over the place. That scares you a little bit in terms of his offensive line is stellar. So he doesn't have to do everything for this team because they have so much talent around him. So you wonder about that. But the dude's a player, and he's an absolute freak show. We need to check the birth certificate on this kid because he's as grown as it gets at the high school level.
Yeah, and he's a guy that we talked about a little bit. They don't even need to give him the ball a ton. I mean, he's really doesn't touch the rock more than 10 to 15 times a game because they just run teams, and every time he touches it, it's a lightning play. Yeah.
And his burst through the hole is exceptional. He gets down the sideline, his speed, he can show the long speed, but he's also quick, one cut, boom, low center of gravity. The dude is extremely tough to tackle, but you almost feel like, man, I almost feel like you should be like truck sticking more people just because of how big he is. It's a little nitpicky on my part, but it's like you feel like this kid should almost never be tackled.
Well, you got a lot of high school kids that look at this guy getting off the bus and they're just making business decisions. You know, they want to graduate and get that ring from Jostens.
Well, Deion is the guy.
It's a business decision, guys. It's like, I'm not tackling that guy, Mama, not tonight.
No.
So really only concerns with this guy, can he do it out of the backfield catching the football? And I have seen him put the ball on the ground one too many times for my liking. The fumbling is a little bit of a concern, but overall, the dude's a player. Baylor's getting an absolute stud.
Yeah, definitely so. And I love how it says 5'10.5". It just kind of add that half inch.
Basically 5'11".
Chris is all the way detailed in everything that he does. But got some other updates coming in, some highlights coming in. Plano schools putting up some money. This is one you'll like, Wolchuk. Let's start this off. This is Cody. Is this Cody Christ?
Yes.
Is that how you say his last name?
Cody Christ.
Look at this play.
Give it to me.
It leads in to Plano East. This is from 77 yards out. You'll look off to the right side of your screen. He catches a little shovel pass, and then he gone. Christ, sideline, foot race. One man to beat. Nope. Touchdown, Plano and the Wildcats. Continuing, this is Plano East against Prosper. Prosper gives up the long bomb. Over the top of the entire
Mallory
defense.
dropping dimes.
That was quarterbacks tonight just winning.
Beautiful throw. Whataburger Friday Night Stars will return here in just a moment.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Hats, backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike, hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field. See the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours. Presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer. Not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age,
we worked for. And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway. It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to.
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger, serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
Whataburger Friday Night Stars live from the Star in Frisco. We're just about set for Friday Night Stars overtime coming up here in just a little bit. And heading into the break, we showed you a couple clips, but I didn't actually update the score. I'm sorry to our listeners.
How dare you?
That Plano game is 28-14 in favor of your Plano Wildcats.
Let's
there,
go.
my friend.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah,
Finally pulling away.
Finally getting it done and pulling away against their in-town rival. And then Plano East was the second matchup that we said. And Prosper's trying to hang in there. They're down by 2 scores. It's 26-14 with 8:22 left in the fourth quarter. Glad you're with us as we start seeing some of these games wind down, some of these games going final. We'll be getting our final reports from some of our reporters throughout the area. And before we do that, let's run through some of these scores, 6A, 5A, 4A. We'll run through the scores that are final. We'll talk only about the final scores here that have popped on through. I know a couple of them have definitely done so. Zach Wolchuk, we'll start with you. Are there any 6A scores that have gone final?
Well, other than from last night, it does not appear that we've got any. We talked about earlier in the game with Geyer beating Keller Central 34-13, Saxe over Naaman Forest 23-6, 34-29. That Lake Ridge incredible game against DeSoto. Flower Mound Marcus, a game that we didn't hit on, they beat Irving 58-13. Justin Dinka, our guy, huge game, 154 yards, a pair of touchdowns for him. Euless Trinity all over LD Bell 40-13, and Keller Timber Creek in a bit of an upset, knocking off Northwest Eaton 14-6. Otherwise, we've got some games late in the fourth quarter in 6A, but nothing quite final yet.
Okay, we'll hit those in just a little bit. 5A scores definitely have gone final. Eric, what's going on there?
Yeah, Colleyville Heritage won 47-7 over Carrollton Newman Smith. Put it on them pretty bad. Frisco Independence beat Frisco Liberty. That score right there was Schneikes. Frisco Independence, 45-10 over Frisco Liberty. Frisco Lone Star did end up winning that game 10-7 over Little Elm. Man, that was a defensive battle for sure. And then Grapevine won 63-21 over Carrollton Creekview. And in terms of finals, that's all we have at the moment for the 5A.
Should Lone Star be a little worried? I mean, that's 2 games in a row. Their offense put up 7 and 10.
Nah.
No?
I wouldn't say so.
Not worried
Not
at
yet.
all?
It's going to take 3 games for you, 3 bad
For the
offensive
offense?
games.
No, I mean, I just think that defense travels well.
No, it is.
And
It
that's
is.
not
But
something
they're
that you have to worry about.
certainly,
when it comes
but
down
they're
to that.
squeaking out games here, and their offense is going to have to put up points at some point. I thought a little bit more of the weapons that they had on that offensive side of the football.
And only 3 of their 10 points were offensive because 7 of those 10 points was a kickoff return for a touchdown. So they only put up 3 points tonight. That is not going to win you many football games.
Mm-hmm. Good quarterback for a Lone Star, Julian Larry. Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy, they have a pretty balanced attack, but they just hadn't had that one game where they've exploded on the scene, But the defense, again, you could tell they're carrying them through until they get to the point where they have that game where everybody goes, all right, these guys are ready to go. Just hadn't had it yet.
Another game that just went final. I don't know if you said this. I just got a notification for it, but Birdville over Carrollton R.L. Turner, 59-7 at the 5A level. That one just now going final. Any 4A games, Heckma, that you see have gone final?
We don't have anything that's gone final. Everything was from last night.
Okay.
So nothing final.
We'll hit those here in just a minute. But overall, you look at some of the top games.
I got one. Wiley just went final against Garland, 50-7.
Yeah.
They got the victory there. And Garland Lakeview Centennial got the win 48-14 over South Garland.
Wow. There you go. Let's look at some of these other highlighted matchups that we've kind of gone through all night long. Allen right now, just putting it on McKinney. Is this any surprise? No.
It's officially gone final, actually. That's 54-14. That's done.
Well, there you go. And Denton Ryan pulling away from Denton, something that was not the case early in that matchup, but Denton Ryan has definitely put it on and finally seen that offensive explosion.
I think that's what they wanted. Everybody was waiting on it, right? Yeah, it's just a struggle the first 4 games, but tonight they put up 48 points. Looked like they're out of their way.
Yeah, and they just scored another one here at the end to go ahead and tack that on 48-7. They are really just putting it all over. Drew Sanders had himself there was a kick block. He's doing it on all 3 phases, offensive and special teams. Kick blocked. He picks it up. He runs it in for a touchdown. Billy Bowman Jr. did it on the offensive side of the football with Seth Hennigan, the other Hennigan's son, coming into the game throwing a 21-yard touchdown pass. So Billy Bowman had another 2 touchdowns on the night for him receiving. So it wasn't all defensive scores. The offense finally held up their end of the bargain. We'll probably hear from Grayson Nolet to tell us all about it a little later.
Yeah, we'll definitely get Grayson on. He was on the call for that matchup. Some other games that we've kind of talked about earlier. We went through Plano East and Prosper already. How about Rowlett coming back? They trailed in that game, but they've stormed their way back, guys.
Yeah, the Eagles, at halftime, everybody was having questions about them. But North Garland, again, came in 4-0, ready to play. But, again, no one's surprised by the score. Rowlett coming right back.
17-point third quarter for Rowlett coming out of halftime.
Wow.
That's awesome, and you usually add that to the coaching, the adjustments
definitely.
at halftime. What did you do? Well, whatever they did, it worked.
And for North Garland to be their first loss of the year, so Rowlett taking care of business there. Keller scored. They cut that lead against South Lake Carroll. It's 44-37 with just under 10 to play in the fourth quarter.
South Lake Carroll putting that second half offense. We talked about it. They had the first game of the season. They were slow coming out of the gates offensively. The second half, specifically the fourth quarter of that first game, they really turned it up. South Lake in this second half, same thing.
Longview Rockwall, guys. Not it. 35-all.
Unbelievable football game. I can't wait to hear more from Guy Frazier about Longview and Rockwall. Hopefully
he sure picked the right game to go to, didn't he?
You knew, hey, those were the 2, Rockwall, Longview, South Lake Carroll, and Keller. And then East and Prosper, those 3 were kind of the big unbeaten matchups. Everybody coming in there. And Rockwall Longview's living up to the billing, man. That's a heck of a football game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I've actually got a highlight coming in from Guy here in just a moment. That was the game-tying touchdown, and we'll tell that in just a little bit. We talked about Frisco Lone Star. Jackson Donovan is about to call in. We'll talk to Jackson in just a moment.
Big touchdown for Flower Mound. Flower Mound scored with 8:04 to go in the fourth quarter. They're up 35-27 on the Fightin' Farmers. Big game between 2 bubble playoff teams there.
Is this a play-in game? I think it might be.
I think it is a play-in game. In that district, absolutely. I know it's early in the year, but you kind of know who the top teams are, and those are probably 4 and 5 right in the middle of that fringe playoff in or not.
Yeah, Cedar Hill, how about 62 points? There's still 3 minutes left in the third quarter. That's an offensive explosion as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've been – Cedar Hill, when you talk about complete football teams, their defense is outstanding. Their offense, 54 points already. I mean, that game was over after the first quarter. I think they had 35 points.
I'm honestly proud that Waxahachie has put up 21 points even. because Cedar Hill's been dominant defensively, only giving up like 8 points a game, 21 points for Waxahachie.
Well, I think that you got a lot of second and that's one of those like everybody plays games.
Yeah,
and
no
in
doubt.
that fourth quarter, and Waxahachie was able to go ahead and tack on a couple feel-good scores.
And think about that. Cedar Hill is a team that everyone was kind of down on last year because they underwhelmed.
They did.
They came right back this year and got right back to business.
Shane Lawrence at quarterback. Yeah, that's going to be a fun team to watch going forward.
Yeah. Some other scores kind of popping in. Duncanville over Richardson Berkner.
Beating them.
Oh,
How
my
about
goodness,
that
gentlemen?
score?
We've got a final Boyd and Jesuit.
Oh.
McKinney
no
Boyd
way.
No.
knocks off Jesuit 35-28.
Oh, my.
Kevin Schumann finishes with 169 yards through the air and a touchdown. E.J. Smith does have over 100 yards rushing, 107 to be exact, on just 18 carries. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 7 catches, 81 yards for E.J. Smith, another receiving touchdown. But it was the ground game. Taylor Shaw, 20 carries, 131 yards, a couple of scores. Cedric Bowler, 15 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. And then through the air, there was really one guy that Colin Drake, the Boyd quarterback, had. Guess what? He had 161 yards passing. 149 of them in both touchdown passes went to Kareem Coleman. So it was really 4 guys
plays.
carrying that Boyd offense, but they got the job done, and they go on the road in district play and knock off the Jesuit Rangers. Unbelievable.
I think that makes that even more impressive, the fact that it was on the road and it was at Jesuit. And
Certainly.
this was a game that everybody wrote Boyd off in.
Yeah.
And they came out and made a statement. They got off to a quick start, and because of that, they were able to really take advantage and come away with a win. Very, very impressive. Some other scores, 41-14, Highland Park over Woodrow Wilson currently. And then you've got, how about Mesquite Horn and Mesquite? It's still a 1-touchdown game. Mesquite up 17-10 heading into the fourth quarter in that one.
I dubbed it a must-win game.
Yes, you did.
For the Jags.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a team that you look at the stats that they have, and you expect for these guys still in their losing efforts, they're outgaining opponents and still finding ways to lose the game. It's the same tonight.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you lose, and then you just start to forget what are the little things you did right to win.
And we do have a little bit of a highlight. I kind of teased this a little bit earlier. This is a 35-35 game in the fourth quarter. We're going to talk to Guy Frazier afterwards, and I'm so excited about it. But here's a touchdown from Rockwall. Let's take a look at this. In terms of Rockwall right now.
Rockwall, 4:22 left in the third quarter.
Wow. Jackson
Clark,
Smith. And look at the throw from Jacob Clark. That place is rocking.
This guy got dimes.
He's the real deal, man.
Unbelievable.
He's the real deal. Jacob Clark is an absolute beast, and he's got weapons at Rockwall. We know that.
Jackson Smith.
And they're a big play waiting to happen.
This guy, Clark, is already over 1,000 yards passing on the season.
Crazy.
It's a barn burner there because Longview just took a 42-35 lead.
No way.
Yeah,
yes, they did.
Wow.
Logan Claiborne. Actually, excuse me. Let me get this guy's name right. It's Caden Meredith, 2-yard touchdown run.
Just came right back.
My goodness, what a fun game that is. Guy must be
Back
going
and forth.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, and there's still 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
We got a lot of football left.
You think they can cross over 100 combined points? I think,
why not?
I think easily doable.
Okay, hold the phone. We've got to go across the hallway.
Let's do it.
Ford Center. We've got ourselves a little bit of a ball
we
game.
got a dandy.
Lebanon Trail and Memorial, as this is just gotten really, really interesting. Lebanon Trail trailing by 5, no pun intended, to Memorial. Look at this play. This just now happened. Off to the right, gets a great block on the outside, and he looks like he's going to score tiptoes, but he steps out at the 3.
Tiptoeing in my
That would have
joints.
taken the lead in a timeout called by Memorial. We're going to come back to this game here in just a moment to see the conclusion of it. That's
one's
from
been
the
wild.
Ford Center. It
The
has
lead
been a
changes
wild
in
game.
that game have
And
been
two
insane.
teams that just couldn't score any points. Memorial offense did not exist. They woke up this morning and said, guys, I think it's time to start playing some football.
Yeah, they've been averaging
just
4
did.
points
My
a game
goodness.
until tonight.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
4 points per game, and they've given up 54 34 points per game.
Absolutely crazy.
And that offense has done its job so far. I'm excited to see
this
the
is
end
an
of that
unbelievable game, guys.
No,
the first half, we had all but wrote those guys off. But like you said, Kyle, things just got real.
Definitely so. Let's go ahead and go back to the Ford Center and see what's happening. 40 seconds left in the ball game. They're going to hand it off here. Far side stuffed on 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. That clock's going to run. No more or one more timeout left for Lebanon Trail. You see it up at the top of the screen. Man, this is a great ball game.
Yeah, they need to get up to the line now.
Those helmets are incredible.
Getting that snap off, handoff far side, defense from Memorial.
I don't think they called it. It's a great jump by 7 right there, and he's fired up. It did look like maybe he jumped early, but he also seemed like he could have timed that perfectly. And now you got to burn your last time out.
Yep. Lebanon Trail trying to fight for that second win of the season. You get a replay here. Great play just coming through that side gap. And look at the speed from 7
Looks like
there.
Anthony Orgy out there making a play from behind. And we got it all coming up for all the marbles here in just a second.
Guys, that's hard to do. Chase down the play from behind. I mean,
absolutely.
That's a perfectly timed defensive play right there.
While we wait on that, we got another final rolling in. Coppell holds on to beat Irving MacArthur 28-21, and Louisville is at the Flower Mound 31-yard line, banging on the door, trying to come back and at least tie that football game with under 5.5 to go in the 4th.
Yeah, lots going on around the North Texas area. We're going to continue to keep you posted. We're not going to go to break just yet, just so we can see the ending of that Memorial and Lebanon Trail game coming up in just a moment. I'm sad we're on a delay. I mean, we're a couple minutes behind. I know this is happening. It looks real time to us. We're definitely behind at this moment, but it's fun to watch this kind of play out live on screen. And we also are waiting in. Adrian Jagish is going to join us after the break here in just a little bit. But let's go back to the Ford Center. 15 seconds left. No more timeouts on the clock. Back the snap, throw back of the end zone. That might have been caught. No. Out of bounds. 4th down on the way.
4th down, boys.
Oh, man.
This is the ball game.
I don't know that I'm in love with the fade call there, but you know that you had to get the ball in the air and either needs to be caught or incomplete to stop the clock there.
Keaton
with 11
Ballou.
seconds still. And this is it. I mean, 4th down and goal from the 7.
I believe in the lefty quarterback.
Lefty quarterback. Yeah, you got to look at it. Let's go back. Ford Center.
Oh, boy.
Across the hallway.
For all the marbles, guys.
That quarterback, that's Lucas Rexon, 5'7", 142 pounds. He's going to run it himself, trying to get a block. Nobody there. And Memorial is going to win their first football game of the season.
Quarterback draw to the short side of the field.
What a terrible call. What an absolutely awful.
That's the first win in school history?
I think that's the first win in Memorial school history.
That is awesome.
Wow. Oh, the celebration at Whataburger tonight is going to be off the chain.
Oh, that's going to be outstanding.
If you're Lebanon Trail, how many second guessing is going to be done over there with that play call at the end of that football game?
You didn't like the play calls?
Not at all. It's a design run all the way. I think you give him an option if he wants to. You call a pass, and if he sees a lane, you take it.
Yes.
But that was a quarterback keeper all the way off the short side of the field.
Yeah, I'm taking the left-handed quarterback, and
they tried to run it
going to the left side of the field.
They ran it 3 of the 4 times to the right side, and they all got stuffed for no gain.
Yeah, that was a bone. I don't know. That was a head-scratching call right there for Lebanon Trail, but a big-time win for Memorial. They're going to be able to ice this one. First win in the
history of their school. I love
Congratulations.
It.
We also have a score. South Lake Carroll, Will Byers just trot one in from 4 yards out to make it 51-37 as they continue to just stay a step ahead of Keller.
South Lake might be a second-half team. Can we dub them a second-half team? We might be starting to do that. That's the narrative of South Lake now. Second half team.
We might just have to do that. But what we are going to do right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll leave you with the site of the Ford Center, and the celebration is Frisco Memorial gets their first win as a program. Whataburger Friday Night Stars will return in just a little bit.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field. See the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours. Presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scored!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
Whataburger Friday Night Stars, the final hour of Week 5 as we bring you to the halfway point of the regular season in Texas high school football. Welcome into the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star in Frisco. It's Whataburger Friday Night Stars presented by Game On Sports. It's now Friday Night Stars Overtime as we bring you all the final scores, all the interviews, all the highlights and analysis that you need in Texas high school football in the DFW area. Glad you're with us. Kyle Yeomans, Heckman Harrison, Zach Wolchuk, and Eric Chiafalo, the best four minds. Best three minds. I'll take myself out of there. Best three minds.
You're okay.
In all of Texas. I'm just here to drive the bus, baby.
Kyle, I love it.
I'm just here to drive the bus.
So humble.
Man, we've got an outstanding slate of games that we've already been going through for the first 3 hours of the show. Now that we're into the final hour, oh my.
I just want to take a moment and appreciate no rain.
No rain.
We have a full slate of games to talk about. Everybody's
slate.
calling in now with what has happened. They've got a full report. It's not about weather delays. It's not about cancellations.
It's about football.
It's about what just happened on the gridiron.
I think I'm happiest for Ashley
I couldn't
Pickle.
be more excited right now, folks. This is...
Aren't you happier for Ashley Pickle, though, more than anybody?
You know what?
She's been out there just swimming, taking it on. She's been 2 games a week, just getting rained on for the last month.
All it took
got some real
was send her to a Plano victory.
little Plano victory. For
She was able to have it completed.
Too much, man.
What can I say?
You're feeling good about it.
We're feeling good tonight, baby. We're going to the local Whataburger, Spring Creek and Coit. We'll see you there.
Amen.
Well, actually, let's go ahead and start off with Plano.
All right.
Tell us how that Plano West rivalry ended up in your favor there, Mr. Wolchuk.
Well, 28-14 the final. And this one we showed the highlights earlier. Opening kickoff, muffed. West recovers in the end zone. They're up 7-0. Here comes Kyron Cumby. Cody Christ with a huge touchdown run. It was 14-all at half, and then Plano's defense came to play. They put the clamp down there in the second half, didn't allow any points, and a couple of big plays. Cody Christ finished with a heck of a football game, 18 carries, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Cumby did it a lot, mainly as a receiver. He did have the 1 touchdown run, but it was 10 catches, 91 yards for him. So all in all, effective day for the Plano Wildcats, and Plano West is going to have to wait another year. That's 3 straight. Plano's beaten West, and they are well over 2 years since they've won a football game there for the Plano West.
Was it the jerseys?
The all maroon is always.
Is that what it is?
Unless they're playing against Allen, they've got a good chance to win in the all maroon.
Who's that?
Oh,
who's
man.
Allen? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll tell you who
Allen
wants
is.
Allen, though, is Plano East, and our reporter on the field there at Kimbrough Stadium as East is knocking off Prosper right now. He sent us in a video. Hopefully we can get that soon. Apparently the Plano East student section is chanting, "We want Allen."
Ooh.
Be careful what you
I completely agree.
I love the confidence.
Yeah, it might have to be
feeling
the
good.
student section of the week later on. Another game that we have now seen gone final, Frisco Lone Star at Little Elm. Frisco Lone Star, really, this is a team that we thought might blow out Little Elm or at least make it a couple score win. Well, they ended up winning 10-7. We've got Jackson Donovan on the phone. Jackson was at this game on the scene, and Jackson, was this a case of Little Elm kind of maybe not dominating the football game, but just kind of controlling Lone Star, or was Lone Star just kind of off their game today?
Lone Star offensively was absolutely terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They could get absolutely nothing going on tonight. Little Elm, on the flip side, offensively was even worse. Basically, the only thing that it came down to that separated these two offenses was the amount of turnovers that Little Elm had. On the flip side, both defenses were absolutely incredible. If you're both defensive coordinators, you're going to go home tonight and rest knowing that the game was not won or lost on your side. It completely came down to offense.
Hey, this is Heckman here. Let's talk about that Lone Star defense. Tell me some of the guys that you've seen. Now, we're high on these juniors for Lone Star. Did you see any of these guys, Kylan Ford, Dylan Harris, any of those names pop out for you?
So I'm actually going to name one that you didn't bring up, and it was one that I wasn't aware of until I started getting to the game, and there were some Houston recruits out, and they were out looking at the big number 77 defensive lineman Jaden Jones. And I tell you, they had him playing nose guard tonight, and there was nothing going on up the middle. He completely shut the door, and it was the most impressive embodiment of a football player on the field tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Jackson, for joining us. Big-time win, Lone Star 10 and Little Elm 7. A great football game. I'm glad you were able to be with us, and we'll talk to you again next week, buddy.
All righty.
Jackson Dunham from Frisco, Lone Star, and Little Elm. Now, as we get started on Friday Night Stars Overtime, we've actually got a little bit of a special guest coming into the studio. This is live on the scene as we have Frisco Memorial, their first ever win as a program. They started the season 0-4, but a huge win in a shootout earlier this afternoon. Derek Robertson, no T in there.
How
right?
you doing, Coach?
Good. How
Feeling
you
pretty good. That was a wild finish there at the end there, huh?
It was great, man. Great time for Memorial.
Yeah, definitely. So this game taking place just across the hallway at the Ford Center at the Star. Coach Robertson, kind of tell us how that unfolded and how your team was able to get off to such a quick start.
Well, they bust their butt the whole week, and they knew that they had to come in and score points. We hadn't scored a lot of points in the season. We played a tough schedule early, but it was apples to apples. Both teams, no seniors on the team. Their third year, our first. But it was more of an even playing field, and so our guys got some success early, and they kind of fed off of it. Came down late at the end, and the defense had to stand up, and they did that, and then we were able to get a score late and seal the deal.
What'd you do this week offensively? You said you've had trouble scoring the ball this week. Not the case. 45 points. Is there any adjustments made, or is this just execution?
Well, what we had to do is we had to simplify just a little bit, and then get a ton of reps. Just keep working the same stuff over and over and over again, and then it worked out for us in the end.
Coach, tell us a little bit about Charlie Flowers. Your quarterback had an unbelievable game tonight with 4 touchdown passes.
Well, he's a sophomore. He was kind of gun-shy early in the season. We were going to like 2 quarterback system. And then like the second game, he kind of emerged a little bit, and so we just went with him, man. He's picking up the system. Sometimes he doesn't step up in the pocket like he needs to, but that's, it's to be expected. He's young. But he did a really great job for us.
Coach, this is your first win of the program.
Yes, sir.
Now you are building. That's right. That's all right. Coach, it's your first win. And obviously, you're building this program from the ground up. What are some of the things that you're trying to instill in your program and going forward, especially in the area that's so littered with talent?
Yeah, well, our program is built on discipline, commitment, and academic success.
That's it.
And so we're trying to instill a blue-collar mentality, hard work. Where we come from, we don't know how to just give up. We feel like regardless of how much talent we have, we got to try to outwork you.
That's right.
And at some point, you're going to be out, somebody's going to have more talent, and you just got to work harder. Blue-collar mentality every single day. The whole school has the same principles. Win the battle is our motto. So we're trying to go in every game with that mindset.
And y'all got plenty of tape about winning the battle tonight because there was a lot of adversity back and forth, and that defensive stance. I mean, talk about your defense and what they did right there at the end of the game.
Hey, man, they had a big challenge. We told them at the beginning of the game that this week was about sacrifice. Something that you don't ever see. You can't see someone's heart because it's on the inside. So we told them that the heart is about strength, about showing your soul, and about expressing your mind. And so they went into the game. They had to stand up at the critical point in the game. We hadn't stopped the little quarterback sweep all night. They stood up when it counted them and made a great play.
Coach, I don't have any more eligibility left, but I want to play for you.
Hey, man, all right, we need you.
Absolutely.
Your defense showed a lot of heart on that last goal line stop there. But between us, though, that final call offensively for Lebanon Trail, questionable call there. I mean, going to the short side of the field, I'm sure you were happy to see as soon as the play started developing, you're like, oh, we got this.
Yes. I mean, when they didn't have a lot of room to go. But then, most teams, they want to run to their sideline. They have been getting the edge all night long. And I think as a coach, I probably would have made the same call, put the ball in my best player's hand, let them run to the edge because they had success early, and we showed up.
That's right.
Hey, that's one down, Coach. Now it's just about that winning streak, right? Next week,
hey,
that's one win. That's great for your program. And
great
congratulations.
building block for us, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys.
And in terms of as a coach, as a leader for some of these youngsters, what's it like being able to deliver that a first win? Nobody can take that away from you.
Ever.
First win in a program's history. What does that feel like?
Man, it's awesome. I ain't gonna lie. I almost came to tears. I ain't gonna lie, but hey, it was a great feeling. There's something, like you said, they'll never forget. We can make a banner, put it in the trophy case because it's important. It's first district ball game.
Yeah.
That's more important.
That's awesome.
And to me, I had never gone over, and so we got a victory. So my streak stands alive. So
that is.
I was appreciative of those kids.
That is important. You going to celebrate at Whataburger tonight or what?
Oh, absolutely. We do it every weekend.
That's it.
Yeah, right down there, El Dorado.
Baby. Whataburger's got you, man.
What's the go-to order?
Mine?
Yeah.
I'll just get a number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With a large lemonade.
Any adjustments, or you just burger how it is?
No, I'm a simple guy.
Absolutely.
Respect, man.
Definitely. So Derek Robertson, head coach at Memorial, and man, isn't that awesome? First program win in history, and then you turn around and you get interviewed by a random show that you didn't know was in the same building.
Hey,
yeah,
well,
appreciate you.
Now we can get you every win, right? Every week. This is
hope so.
normal.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, just come on over whenever you're done. But Coach, thanks so much. We're going to take a quick break here on Whataburger Friday Night Stars. When we come back, we'll hear some more coaches from around the area and get some extra highlights in as we continue on Friday Night Stars Overtime.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scores!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer. Not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field, see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room, and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours, presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
Lots of scores flying in as we continue Whataburger Friday Night Stars here from Frisco, Texas, and home of the now 1-0 in district play, Frisco Memorial Ball Club, as we just had Coach Derek Robertson. Special thanks to Coach Robertson.
Yeah, thank
as
you.
His
that is awesome.
memorial.
You could tell the emotion, too. I mean, that was
awesome.
just so cool
That was really cool.
We got to be here for that win. Of that, I mean, what if that program goes off now? Frisco Memorial's a thing.
You were a part of it.
We were a part of it.
Very well could be, and that's a very exciting prospect. A big exciting prospect as well happened in Jesuit tonight. Let's take a look at Adrian Jagish. One of our reporters got a chance to catch up with McKinney Boyd's head coach as Boyd and the Broncos get their first win of the season in emphatic fashion against the Jesuit Rangers on the road.
Okay, guys, I'm here with head coach Drake, the winners of the Broncos. Coach, how do you feel about today's game?
It's great. You know, it's been some tough sledding so far early this season, but kids came over here and got a big win tonight against a good Jesuit club, and so we're excited about that. It was a hard-fought victory.
Well, in the beginning of the first half, it was sort of like the Broncos were leading, and then after the second half, it looks like the Jesuits were kind of catching up, but ended up being that you guys followed through and ended up winning this game, breaking y'all's losing streak. How do you feel about that?
Well, it feels good, no doubt. You know, I thought we did. We started fast. You know, they came out in the third quarter. They got the opening kick of the second half and really managed the clock well, ran the football well. Kind of had us against the ropes. We made had a big pass play right there to score the touchdown that put us ahead by 7, you know, in the fourth quarter, and then held on. So it was great to see the kids play for 4 full quarters and give a good fight. So anyway, we're excited about that.
Awesome. Great. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you.
Adrian Jagish on the scene as Boyd gets their first win of the season. He's also now on the phone. Adrian, thanks for joining us, and a great interview there with the head coach as McKinney Boyd pulls off the upset. But Adrian, was that the real story of this game? Was it the defense and being able to kind of slow down E.J. Smith as much as they could? But it really wasn't E.J. Smith. It was the rest of the offense that the Boyd Broncos were able to slow down.
Yeah, guys, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on the phone. I was surprised with this game. I think everybody really expected Boyd to lose. They had really low expectations, and Jesuit had really high expectations. Last week, Jesuit dominated against Plano West with a 42-0 win, but this week the energy was not there. They were not. It was almost as if they were not wanting to play. They did score 4 touchdowns, but E.J. Smith was responsible for all of them. He really carried the team tonight. I was really surprised. Boyd did an amazing job. As you know, they had a 4-game losing streak, and so nobody really expected them to win. I know at halftime I was texting you guys, and everybody was kind of like, wow, like, this was really unexpected. I really think that, of course, you know, Boyd, both offense and defense, they dominated both sides, and they came to win today.
Adrian, Zach here with you. It seemed like McKinney Boyd's offense really just revolved around 4 players: Colin Drake, Tyler Shaw, Cedric Bowler, and Kareem Coleman. Tell us a little bit about that Boyd offense that really got going early and set the tone of this football game.
As I said earlier, they came to play and they came to win. Tyler Shaw, I know he was responsible for 4 of the touchdowns. And during the fourth quarter, they made a pass to number 4, junior. He's the running back, junior Kareem Coleman, and he's responsible for the 5th touchdown. They were not joking around, but I think the real story behind this game was just Jesuit was not in it today. Again, they were really leaning on E.J. Smith to carry the game. That being said, E.J. Smith is an awesome player. I have high hopes for him. Maybe he can go pro. But I think the real story is I think Boyd obviously did a great job. And because for a little bit after halftime, you know, Jesuit really caught up and they were neck and neck 28-28. But then the energy just fell again. And the coaches were yelling at them. They seemed really upset. I don't think this was a night for Jesuit.
Yeah, definitely so. And Boyd definitely took advantage of that as well. 35-28, the final score there. Adrian, thanks so much for your hard work. We'll talk to you again next week.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
There goes Adrian Jagish.
Tough loss for Jesuit, too. They're off next week, and then they play Prosper. So, you know, looking at that schedule, if they didn't have that bye week, and they still might have just been overlooking Boyd because they came in winless. They were riding high after whipping up on West in their first district game. Maybe they're thinking, all right, we're going to get an easy breezy win, have a week off, 2 weeks to prepare for Prosper. But you just can't do that in Texas high school football.
It sounds like Jesuit's defense is really just failing them, basically.
Yes.
With E.J. Smith, like I said at the beginning of when we started this, you know, with the real E.J. Smith, please stand up, and he did it.
Yes.
You know, he scored all of their points. I mean, this guy's 100 yards on the ground and 80, 90 yards in the air, you know, catching the ball. He is Mr. Everything for them.
It's
at this
not
point,
on EJ.
It's not on him. And so where the press clippings and all of that, he already comes into the game with the target on his back just because of who he is, right? But the rest of those guys have got to support that and go to war with this kid because, again, 28 points should be enough to win you the game.
And it's surprising to me because Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Coach Woods from Highland Park is now over.
He is.
At Jesuit as the defensive coordinator. And Coach Woods was the architect of that Scots D that 2 years ago was the big reason why they won the state championship. They were outstanding last year, also very, very good. I mean, the system works. And I thought him going over to Jesuit was really, really going to help that side of the football. And they just haven't been out there playing at a consistent level for them.
Yeah, they're clearly showing some growing pains with new scheme, new whatever it is they got going defensively. It's not happening for them right now. And I think the toughest thing for Jesuit is, like you mentioned, E.J. Smith had the great night. We've been waiting for it all season long for the most part. They've tried to find different ways to get him involved. Tonight they do on the ground, in the air, and still offensively they can't do quite enough to win the game.
So let's go back to a couple of the games that we have talked about already in great length. Let's go to Plano and Plano West. Of course, we've talked a lot about this game because across the table,
Plano.
Didn't take that long.
Happened?
The Paw Pat?
The Paw, baby.
Well,
Plano.
Okay, whoa. Calm it down a little bit because
I'm excited, baby.
We've got Ashley Pickle on the phone who was at this ball game.
I bet it was one of the best games Ashley's been to ever. Ashley, tell us about what it was like at John Clark Stadium, the Paw Prints, the mystique of a Plano game, that unbelievable fan base. Give it to me, Ashley. Let us know.
Is that your alma mater?
It is my alma mater.
Ashley, you're so smart.
I could not tell. I had no idea. Man, no, it was a fantastic game. It does not get better than Texas high school rivalry games like that. The student section showed up. The cheerleaders were pumped. The teams were pumped coming out. And that's the thing. Plano West starting out on an 0-4 streak. Plano starting out 1-3, both 0-1 in district. I didn't know exactly how this game was going to play out, but after that first half, that's some of the best football that I've seen all year.
Ashley, we've talked a lot about Kyron Cumby of Plano. What was it like seeing him in person tonight? I know he had himself a nice game. What was it like seeing him in person?
You know, seeing Kyron was very cool. He is just unbelievable. I mean, you would have thought he was a basketball player out there breaking ankles because he was just all over the place. The amount of time and the quickness he has to be able to scatter around in that backfield before he makes up his mind and decides that he's going to take off is unbelievable. But Plano West did a very good job, you know, going into film that they were worried about him and they were double teaming him all night, making sure that they weren't doing anything. And that's when Cody Christ really came out to play, another running back, a junior in Christ, but he really showed up. 3 out of the 4 touchdowns for Plano. Very, very good player. Just ducks his head down and takes that ball into the end zone.
Yeah, and Christ also plays linebacker, I believe. So, I mean, that's quite the challenge, playing both ways. But for West, they were probably playing pretty confident, hanging into that game at 14-all at halftime. I mean, what did you see from the Wolves side of things? That's a program that's really struggled the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, their very first drive, they came out and they had the very, very good quarterback. Oh, goodness, what's his name?
Danny Davis?
Yes, Danny Davis. There you go. Danny Davis he's 6'5". He's a well-sized player. He's coming out just towering over these guys, and he's not scared to run the ball. But when he came out his first drive, he threw that 60-yard touchdown pass that was then fumbled, and then they recovered it in the end zone, and that was a big momentum shift for West right there. I was standing on the Plano sideline at the time, and you'll hear the coaches, and one of them just went, "What in the world just happened?" Like they really were. You could see a look of shock on their face that, one, they were gutsy enough to go ahead and pull out a 60-yard pass to start off the game, and then the fact that they recovered it, it was a momentum shift. For a while, I really thought that West was in it. Obviously, they did too, leading into halftime, and then Plano, I don't know what Coach said to them at halftime, but they came out ready to roll in that second half.
Hey, Ashley, this is Heckman. Now, you know, Walchuk has talked all about this rivalry. We have to make ourselves ready for it. Did it live up to the billing and all the hype that he put around it?
The first half definitely did. It was rivalry football. It seemed like the playbooks were just completely out of the way. There was guys all over the field. Crazy stuff was happening. The first half definitely did. I was a little disappointed in the rivalry aspect of the second half.
Oh, wow. You look at the stats up on the sheet right now, and Plano really kind of dominated in terms of total yardage. That balanced attack, was that something that you talk about in the first half? It was a close game. Was that mostly in the second half in terms of the yardage gained?
Exactly, yeah. In that first half, it was back and forth on possessions. I mean, 7-7 to end the first, 14-14 to end the second, and they were scoring one after another. There was long periods in the middle of the quarters, it seemed like, where it was just back and forth possession. So they kind of mirrored after each other, which was making it such the good rivalry atmosphere in that first half. But yeah, the second half is where Plano just racked up those yards.
Ashley, you sent us some beautiful footage of the Plano band there at the half. What'd you think of the bands? You've gotten to see a few now. So I mean, what'd you think of these two?
Well, Jack, I'm probably just going to break your heart.
No, that's fine. I've never been a huge defender of the Plano band. I care more about the team.
Okay, good. Because Plano West pulled out an oboe solo, and I don't know how much. Ooh. Obviously, I'm assuming Zach, you know a lot about band. It seems like, or maybe just fond of it. But the oboe solo was unbelievable. It's hard enough to play an oboe, but to go out there in front of a football crowd and make it sound like. It was beautiful. It was awesome. So Plano West took the battle of the bands for me tonight for sure.
Hey, wow. That's fine, Ashley. We appreciate that as long as you enjoyed the game.
He's so salty right now.
Plano won on the scoreboard. That's all that matters.
He said scoreboard. He just pulled the scoreboard out on you, Ashley. This guy's literally reaching in his bag right now. He's finding nothing.
Scoreboard.
Shout out to the oboes.
Shout out to the oboes, indeed. Ashley, thanks for your hard work again. I'm sorry this becomes a weekly occurrence.
Put the ball down for a second, though.
Oh, man.
You're the best, Ashley.
Ashley Pickle, hardest working woman in sports. We'll talk to you again next week, Pickle.
Y'all have fun, guys.
Oh, we definitely will. We know Zach's having fun.
All in all, 14 points. Not good enough. disappointed. We'll have Kelton Reed, our friend of the show, call
Talk
on
about
in
that
there.
defense. Are you
Talking
gonna-
about the
are you gonna
defense.
just
First text I got
grill
from
him?
Kelton. Boy, we played down to the competition today.
Oh,
he's
we'll talk
not
about
happy.
That's I got to put that on coaching, Kelton.
Excuse
Wow.
me.
Wow, that's interesting.
Excuse me.
He went there.
I'm just putting it on the
All
coaching
right.
staff.
Well,
That's all.
we'll ask Kelton about that.
We'll definitely ask Kelton about that. When we come back after the break, we'll talk with Derek Finch, who was at Prosper and Plano East, but we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with more Whataburger Friday Night Stars in a moment.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Hats, backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players, to run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field, see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room, and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours, presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scores!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to.
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
Whataburger Friday Night Stars continuing the overtime section as we're from the Star in Frisco, head to headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. And we are joined now by the defensive backs coach from Zach Wolchuk's famous Plano Wildcats, fresh off of their win. Kelton Reed joins Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Kelton, thanks again for joining us 2 weeks in a row now. Now you get to do it after a win, which is much nicer, especially when it's a rivalry win, right?
Is that Wolchuk talking?
Uh-oh.
No, that's Kyle Yeomans
Nope,
talking.
that's Kyle Yeomans talking. We're talking to you
now.
right now.
What up, Kelton? You got us?
Kelton Reed.
Kelton.
Uh-oh.
We might have lost Kelton Reed, but
maybe he just can't hear us yet.
Unfortunately, either that or it's Derek Finch. Is this Derek Finch on the phone?
There's nobody on the phone.
This is a mystery.
This is.
Wait, hello?
Not really sure.
Kelton is
yeah,
on
we'll
the
have
phone right
him
now.
call back, Chris. We'll have him call back.
We'll have him call back here in just a little bit. We do have Derek Finch on the phone as well, as we have our phone lines ringing off the hook. Let's go to Derek real quickly. Derek was at Prosper and Plano East. Derek, first off, thanks for joining us. As really, this was a very impressive win for Plano East overall, as they took down Prosper, and it started really at the beginning.
Yeah, you know, going into this game, I thought it was going to be a 70-66 type shootout. Just reading up on both of these teams, they really, really felt like offensive juggernauts. And Prosper coming out just absolutely could not get out of their own way. It felt like every snap there was a false start, every single time. You could see frustration, exacerbation, Mr. Shoemaker throwing up his hands. I, frankly, was shocked that they came out the way they did and underperformed like that.
Derek, what'd you think of that Plano East defense? What was so impressive about them tonight to slow down that what we think to be a high-powered Prosper offense?
Well, pressure. Pressure is always key. I thought they did a good job bottling up their running back, who I think came into the game with 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, Wayne
on
Anderson.
The year. And he did score tonight, and had 100 yards, but really that was their only source of offense. So I thought they did a great job making Shoemaker uncomfortable, and obviously 3 turnovers. 2 of them were gimmies, but, you know, as a defensive back, you still have to put your hands up and make the catch. So very impressed with the Plano East defense.
Dre, what do you think about Brandon Mallory, man? I mean, Brandon Mallory's a guy that I've had my eye on for a little while, and he just seems like he has this East offense humming on all cylinders.
Well, I liked his first half a lot more than I liked his second half. The first half, he looked like an unstoppable Cam Newton type. He was throwing deep balls. He was making runs, finding open guys. He should have had 3 touchdowns in the first half, but there was a terrible, terrible drop early on. And then in the second half, Prosper seemed like they got to him a little bit. He just looked like a good high school quarterback to me from the second half on, not the unstoppable force that I saw in the first half.
Yeah, definitely so. And it looks like Prosper now turning things around. They're going to have to try and figure something out in terms of just trying to avoid the turnovers. Even last week in a win, they still turned the football over. You talked about not getting out of their own way. Was it play calling? Was it just lack of execution? What was the issue early on for the Prosper Eagles?
I would 100% chalk it up to lack of execution because a lot of times I don't even know what they were going to call. They had to keep restarting for all their false starts. They had 5, I think, in the first quarter, maybe 7 in the first half. You know, you can't do that coming into a big game against an opponent like Plano East. But Prosper next week, they've got Dallas Jesuit, and I don't know what they're doing right now, but they were 2-2 coming into tonight, and that could be a good chance to get their confidence back.
Derek, you sent us a video of the Plano East student section. They're feeling confident. They're chanting, "We want Allen." Do you think that they might need to watch what they're worrying about here? I don't know if Allen is if they can compete with Allen.
Well, I think the student section was a little drunk on success, and they were, putting the cart before the horse. I don't think anybody should ever want Allen.
Yeah.
Allen, to me, is on another level of high school football. I haven't seen anything like Allen in ever. They're the most unstoppable force I can ever remember seeing. So, it's good to have confidence going into a game like that, and sure, they might make it competitive. If they get 35-21, that would be something. But I'm not ready to say that this Plano East team could go into. It's at Allen, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have faith that they could go in there and knock off that team yet.
So not even a puncher's chance.
No, I don't bet against those Eagles. I'll bet against the Prosper Eagles from now on. But Allen, I'm still. You got to see more. Hey, if they prove me wrong, that's awesome, because I don't necessarily like Allen. I just think they're incredible.
Definitely so, and they're not going to have to wait very long. They get a bye week. Plano East does get a bye week, and you turn around and they play Allen
2 weeks to prepare. That's
weeks
good
from now. So that'll be an interesting matchup. We might just have to send you, Derek, to that Allen Plano East game. That might be your assignment in a couple of weeks. But thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week, buddy.
Yeah, you bet, guys.
Sorry about Plano West, bud. Love you.
Hey, I saw 14-14 at halftime, and I was real excited, but they let me down. They let me down.
I know.
Derek Finch, there he goes. A Plano West proud grab, but not tonight. Zach Wolchuk has the upper edge in that matchup.
They talk about wanting Allen, but like Mike Tyson once coined the term, everybody has a plan until they get hit.
It's just funny because you listen to anybody who graduated from a school that plays Allen, one of these 3 Plano schools, every single year. Derek, for a Plano West grad, he's seen it firsthand. No, you don't expect to beat Allen because they just whoop up on everybody, man. It's no fun when you're playing against Allen Eagles.
It's also no fun whenever you're looking at a scoreboard at halftime in your Fort Worth All Saints, because they were down very early in that ball game to Bishop Dunn, and Bishop Dunn takes out a whole whooping on Fort Worth All Saints. We had Mallory Hartley at that ball game, and she sent us her wrap-up report. Mallory, what's going on with Bishop Dunn and Fort Worth All Saints? Oh, never mind. We do not have Mallory on the line.
Well, I can tell you it was the night for Brian Williams, defensive back.
Yeah,
for
it sounded
Bishop
like
Dunn.
it, right?
It was, she already told us his first half was unbelievable. Boy, was it ever. 3 touchdowns in less than 4 minutes. The dude had interceptions. He had punt returns for touchdowns. Texas A&M is getting themselves quite the player. Bishop Dunn rolled over Fort Worth All Saints 52-7.
Yeah, 52-7 was the final score there. An unfortunate night for Fort Worth All Saints. Bishop Dunn, pretty good. Hey, we've got Mallory on the line. Let's go ahead and go to Mallory. Oh, wait, no, we don't. Actually, I take that back again. And now we do. I keep getting it back and forth.
What is going on?
I keep getting in my hair. Now we have her.
This is
Mallory Hartley, tell us about Bishop Dunn and Fort Worth All Saints.
The final score here tonight in Bishop Dunn Stadium was 52-7, where the All Saints just nearly avoided a complete shutout. The All Saints running back number 22, Jacob Matlock, ran the ball in for about a 10-yard touchdown towards the end of the fourth quarter, but that just wasn't enough to compete with Bishop Dunn's defense. The Falcons' next game will be broadcasted on ESPNU when they take on St. Pius in another non-conference game next Friday in Houston, Texas. That's all I have here tonight. Thank you for joining me here on Friday Night Stars. Back to you guys in the studio.
That's interesting that next matchup's going to be at on ESPNU. We'll take a quick look at that Cedar Hill Waxahachie game here in just a moment. But ESPNU, pretty big stuff for Bishop Dunn coming up in the future.
Hey, when you've got that many big-time recruits that are playing at your school,
a ton of
people want to see it. People want to see Brian Williams, man. He's arguably the best recruit in the state of Texas.
Yeah, very well might be. Let's go through some of the scores. We've kind of put this off because of how many people have been calling in, how many things are going on. Heckma, you got an update?
No, I was just looking. Hey, man, I got a lot of stuff flashing in front of me.
I know. You're really excited. Let's go to 6A first. Some of the 6A final scores. Zach Wolchuk, give us a 6A rundown.
Let's run them down real quick. Coppell over Irving MacArthur, 28-14. Allen all over McKinney, 54-14. Flower Mound defeating Louisville, 35-27. Very, very tight contest there between two evenly matched teams. Big win for the Jags. Wiley over Garland, 50-7. Garland Lakeview Centennial over South Garland, 48-14. Hebron defeating Irving Nimitz, 40-21. A Nimitz team that was previously undefeated. The Hawks get a win there. Keller Fossil Ridge holding on to beat Trophy Club Byron Nelson, 14-9. Nelson still winless to this point in the season. McKinney Boyd, we've talked about it. They knocked off Jesuit, 35-28. The Plano Wildcats defeat Plano West, 28-14. East over Prosper, 26-14. Rowlett knocking off North Garland in a very close game. They win it by 20, 33-13, closer than the score would indicate. Same deal with South Lake Carroll and Keller, 58-37. Carroll gets the win.
Wow.
But Keller was in that thing really from the get-go. Arlington, Bowie, and North Crowley still late in that game. Looks like Bowie's going to hold on 42-36, a game that was scoreless at the end of the first quarter. All kinds of points. Bowie found their offense. They've got the ball right now at their own 38 with 1:10 to play. Lamar over Martin, 52-11. Cedar Hill beat Waxahachie 78-28. They put up 78 points. They saw Rockwall 73. They said, we'll do you one better. Here's 78.
70 burger tonight.
78 points
almost
on
an 80.
Waxahachie. On the road against the Indians. Arlington Sam Houston, 35-22 over Fort Worth Pascal. 70-3, the other Arlington school, Arlington High, with our man, Jahari Rogers. 70-8, they get the victory. Jahari Rogers, I think he might have played a quarter. 4 touchdowns.
Still had 4 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. Longview and maybe the game of the night over Rockwall, 42-35. The Lobos stay unbeaten as they are ranked in the state. They knock off an area-ranked team in Rockwall.
And with that being said, we've got Guy Frazier on the phone lines as Rockwall and Longview, really a barn burner from the get-go, back and forth. I don't think either team had a score or a lead of more than 2 touchdowns at any point in the ball game. Guy, tell us what went down between those two powers.
Hey, Kyle, man, that was a marathon game. That was who was just going to outlast who, and Longview ends up on top 42-35, as y'all know. In my pregame, I said it was going to be the first team to 45 points, and I was close to being right on that, but I also said that it would be, the first team to maybe get a stop or two that would have the best chance of winning the game, and Longview had that with a big interception late in the game with about 3 minutes left, and they also stopped Rockwall on a 4th down right out of the gates of the fourth quarter that I kind of scratched my head on. I thought Rockwall maybe should have punted the ball away, but they didn't, and Longview took care of it, and really, that's kind of how they actually, I think, took the first lead and got a little separation in that game. That's all they ended up needing was that touchdown. And, it was just a back-and-forth affair in the third quarter and then just a grinder in the fourth.
Guys, Zach here, talk about Longview. Coming in here, a lot of people in DFW probably don't appreciate the history that Longview has had and the success they brought to the table. Offensively, it seemed like they couldn't step a beat with that defense as well.
Say that last part again.
Their offense seemed like they couldn't skip a beat. What happened offensively for them? Keelan Williams seemed like he had an excellent game, but then on defense, what made the difference for them to somewhat? They didn't slow them down a ton, but they got the stops when they needed to against Rockwall.
Right. Well, honestly, they never stopped Jackson Smith, the receiver for Rockwall, once tonight. I think he finished with 289 yards.
Jeez.
Which is just absurd. But hang on, I'm driving here. Let's see.
Oh.
But they did at one point, with the pick, which was probably the biggest play of the game, because prior to that, they had missed a 48-yard field goal that would have put them up by 10. So Rockwall gets the ball back, and they need to make one big play. And I think they dropped back into cover 2, maybe. I don't remember the play exactly, but kid makes an incredible interception. ends up swaying the momentum back in their favor completely, and they never really let go of it. But it was really going to come down to one big play like that, and it came down on defense. But nobody really stopped anybody tonight. The offense has really controlled that game.
Guy, we talk about Jacob Clark all the time at quarterback for Rockwall, but what about Haynes King? I don't know if a ton of people know about him, but he had himself quite the game for Longview. What did you see from him tonight?
Right. Well, going into this game, Longview Twitter was saying that it's not official, but just knowing Longview being a more balanced attack team, not always being a high, scoring, passing, all over the place type traditional, program, he actually was the fastest, according to them, to reach 1,000 yards passing in the season after week 4 of this season. So, last year when I saw him play in a couple playoff games, he looked like your typical sophomore. Yeah, he's the coach's son, so he trusts him, but still, they didn't have everything going with him. He seemed more like the bus driver. This year, though, it seems like the offense is really controlled completely by him. They're letting him air it out, and really just the whole playbook is there for him. And tonight he had another huge game. He's got some wheels. He actually can get in the open field and make some people miss. He's a bigger kid than people would think, and he's quite the talent. And he's a lot better than probably people think as far as statewide. He doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks so much, Guy. Great work last night. You've seen 2 very good football games back-to-back night. Last night it was DeSoto and Lake Ridge. Tonight, Longview and Rockwall. We'll see what 2 games you get to go to next week, Guy.
Yeah, it's been a fun week. Appreciate it, fellas.
Definitely so. Guy Frazier, one of our top reporters in terms of giving that information. He definitely knows how to do that. We'll talk to a couple more reporters here in just a minute, but first let's go through those 5A scores. Eric Chiafalo, there is a plenty to talk about in terms of that 5A rundown. Tell us what's going on at that division.
Yes, so 47-7, Colleyville Heritage over Carrollton Newman Smith. Birdville 59-7 over Carrollton R.L. Turner, and then Denton falls to Denton Ryan 48-7. It's good to see a little bit of offense out of Denton Ryan. We've talked about them all season. Their defense has been dominant. Their quarterback situation's been completely up in the air. Well, tonight they do it on the ground. They do it through the air. 48 points. Way to go, Ryan. Hopefully that offense can get going because that defense, we all know, is one of the best in the state. No doubt about it. Coming up next, we got Denton Broswell and Lovejoy. It's 48-7. Lovejoy wins that game. Frisco Centennial falls to the Colony 49-21. Frisco Wakeland beat Frisco Heritage 49-28. And then right here at the Ford Center, we had Frisco Memorial and Frisco Lebanon Trail. We had Coach Roberson in here off his first victory in school history for Frisco Memorial.
Awesome. Big win.
Absolutely incredible. So that was awesome there. And then we got Frisco Independence 45-10 over Frisco Liberty. Frisco Lone Star, we've talked about that quite a bit tonight. They barely escape. Little Elm 10-7. Grapevine puts it on Carrollton Creekview 63-21. And then Bryan Adams beat Sunset 40-6. My Justin Northwest beat Fort Worth Southwest 52-14. Mansfield Legacy and Mansfield Timberview. This was a great game that we've been talking about. Heckma, the lone warrior, I think, on this game. Legacy wins it. Wow. 27 to
flexing
22.
the muscles a little bit.
And that's a Legacy team that's missing really their 2 best players.
Yeah.
Obviously, Catalan, he's been out for 2 weeks now. Jackson on that defensive line, he's out, and they still find a way to get the victory over Timberview. That was a great victory right there for Legacy. And then Midlothian falls to Burleson Centennial 24-7. Roy City over Forney 14-9. Lancaster over Samuel 50-6. Ennis over Terrell 14-0. And Highland Park over Woodrow Wilson 56-14.
Wow. Big
Chandler
time
Morris
win for
finished with
HB.
5 touchdowns, by the way. I know we said
you
he
go.
had a really slow, not really a good game. 5 touchdowns, 58 or 56 points. What a night for Highland Park.
Yeah, definitely. So
And
another
just
good
to,
night.
Just to wrap up the 6A scores real quick, Mansfield Summit knocked off Grand Prairie 41-16. Horn loses 20-17.
Wow.
Mesquite beat Mesquite Horn. J.J. Pierce 56-14 over Molina.
Is that 0-5 now for
yeah,
Mesquite
it's
Horn?
0-5 for Mesquite Horn, and they're not looking good.
Game.
They're in the doldrums of that.
Heckma had that a must-win game.
District. And Longview sitting at the top of that district, so that's going to be a tough one to come back from. Richardson 51-7 on W.T. White. Duncanville, they took care of business 63-0 over Richardson Berkner. And then Skyline over Lake Highlands 55-44. South Grand Prairie does beat Mansfield 27-17.
Another big final score that we've talked about throughout the night in terms of this being a complete one-win game, or a must-win game, I should say, in terms of both of these teams starting off district play, Louisville and Flower Mound. And on the phone now we have from 105.3 The Fan and also the voice of the Louisville Fighting Farmers, Nick Nepich, on the phone. And Nick, first off, this is a Flower Mound team that trailed early in the game, but now turns around and they found themselves winning this 35-27.
Yeah, it was 13-0 at halftime. Louisville seemed to be in control, and in fact, in the middle of the third quarter, it was 27-7. Louisville was in front, but the Jaguars went with tempo there in the second half and really turned things around, got a big onside kick, and then took the lead early in the fourth quarter. In fact, the first play of the fourth quarter, and never looked back, and they were able to hold on.
Nick, Zach with you. It looked like Louisville got the ground game going a little bit, but not enough to really hold on to this one against Flower Mound. I know you mentioned to me this was the game that would probably decide who got that fourth and final playoff spot for Louisville. Do you think this one's going to come back to bite them?
I think it could. You know, Ben McAfee, the running back for the Farmers, had 100 yards in each of the first three games. Tonight he was held to 84 yards. He did still have three touchdowns, two on the ground, one through the air, but they weren't able to establish drives like they were able to against McKinney-Boyd 2 weeks ago. But like you said, this one really could end up deciding that final playoff spot in District 6-6A with Coppell, Hebron, and Marcus pretty clear at the top. Flower Mound and Louisville were really jousting for that final spot, or at least it would seem to be that way. Now Louisville needs the Jaguars, Flower Mound that is, to fall to one of these Irving schools, and they need to run the table against Irving and maybe steal a win from a Marcus, a Coppell, or a Hebron, or they're going to be just on the outside looking in.
Nick, Flower Mound did some alternating at quarterback. Their starting receiver, usually is receiver Jake Welch, started the game at quarterback, and then they went back to Blake Short. What'd you see there? Did they find success doing alternating, or was it just for a few series, or was it the whole game? What was that about?
So what we were told is that in the bye week last week, Jake Welch won a quarterback battle, and he started the game. But the more we got into it, what it seemed like is Welch started the first half, and Blake Short started the second half. Now, Jake Welch got a run in the fourth quarter. He actually had the go-ahead touchdown run from a quarterback draw. But other than that, it was all Blake Short. But it really wasn't the story of the quarterbacks. It was more the story of Flower Mound went with tempo in the second half and was running the ball with Pierce Hudgens, their running back. He finished with about 258 yards on the ground. He averaged 10 yards a carry and had 3 touchdowns. The Farmers just couldn't stop the tempo of Flower Mound, and Pierce Hudgens had a monster second half. But the quarterback was a bit of a story just because it was a surprise. Blake Short was listed as the starter until we got the kickoff, and then it was Jake Welch who started the game.
Yeah, for Flower Mound, I mean, I'm looking at Pierce's numbers, 25, 258. That was these are definitely grown man stats. Did the defense from Louisville not just have any answers for him all game?
Well, it's interesting. In the first half, the Louisville defense pitched a shutout. You know, the defense for the Farmers has been the strength thus far this year. The front seven has been dominant, and they were in the first half. The defensive line really gave Flower Mound fits on the run game, whether it was the quarterback or the running back. But in the second half, what I think really hurt them is this Farmers defense, while it's strong, it's not very deep. And so when Flower Mound went with tempo, it really put Louisville at a disadvantage. And I think there was some hands on some hips, some guys cramping there in the second half, and they just couldn't keep up with the tempo and the run game of Flower Mound. And credit to that offensive line. The Jaguars' offensive line really flipped the script there in the second half and gave Hudgens a lot of room to run. But the Farmer defense, I mean, it was a tale of two halves. The first half, they pitch a shutout. The second half, they give up 35 points. And they did even force, 4 turnovers on the game, 2 on special teams, 2 on defense, and yet they fall 35-27.
Nick Nepich there for the Nepich, sorry, excuse me. They're for Fighting Farmers of Louisville and for Flower Mound. Nick, thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
There he goes, Nick Nepic. Sorry.
It's okay. It's a weird spelling.
It is a weird spelling, but he's definitely not a weird guy. An outstanding voice. And I love hearing him on the Fan every week as well with you two.
Guys, I want to tell you about this 4A matchup, the Midlothian Heritage game. Midlothian had this game. It was up 18-0 when I was telling you guys earlier 4A scores. Waco La Vega comes back 45 to 18, the final score.
Wow, over Midlothian Heritage?
Yeah.
Wow. How about La Vega?
La Vega.
That's impressive
win. Took over, guys. I'm telling you, it was a tale of the second half because they put that thing on the ground. They have two outstanding running backs, man. These guys, John Richards and Jerquay Walton. Both of these guys were 183 for Richards and 156 for Walton. Took over in the second half. Both 2 touchdowns apiece.
Yeah, definitely did. But we are running out of time. About 4 minutes left in week 5 of Friday Night Stars.
Unbelievable.
Guys, let's go through our stars of the night. I don't know, we've kind of had that moment. We've had those names. We've thrown a bunch of them out there over the 4 hours of the show. Eric, we'll start with you. Who's your star of the night?
Oh, it's got to be Brian Williams for Bishop Dunn. This dude had 3 touchdowns tonight, 2 of which were interception returns, 1 of which was a punt return. He's a commit to A&M. He's an absolute stud, and what a game he had. He had all 3 of his touchdowns came in less than 4 game minutes. They were all just back-to-back. It's an interception touchdown. It's a punt return touchdown. Then another interception for touchdown. This dude's unbelievable. He'll be playing on Saturdays with A&M next year. What a stud. What a night for him.
Beast. Absolute beast. I got to go with TJ McDaniel from South Lake Carroll. Big win for them, knocking off an undefeated Keller team. 32 carries, 253 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Monster.
For TJ McDaniel tonight. Unbelievable. Put the team on my back and carry the Dragons to a victory.
Man, it's so hard to go with the player in a loss, but this dude had a monster game. Rockwall receiver, Jackson Smith. How do you pronounce his last name?
I think it's Njiba, but I could be wrong.
Jackson Smith and Njiba, 13 catches, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Crazy.
Unbelievable. That's a Randy Moss-style game right there for that kid.
Yeah, definitely is. Now we've got a team of the week, a coach of the week, and a student section of the week that we've got to give out collectively as a show. This week, I'm going to give you the team of the week. Heckma, who is your team that made the biggest impact on you this week?
Man, it'd have to be the coach that we just had in here today. I mean, Frisco getting their first win. It's got to be them.
Frisco Memorial.
I think he's coach of the week as well. Coach of the week came in here first in.
Well, I'm going to let Zach pick coach of the week.
Gosh, dang it.
Oh, well, that's fine with me. We'll give it to Coach Roberson. Why not? You get your first win as a program. I think absolutely.
So. First in studio guest. I mean, come on.
No doubt. I mean, aside from Plano being team of the week, I think absolutely that's got to be the way to go.
Wait, so is it Plano or is it Frisco Memorial?
Well, no, I'm not going to give Plano coach of the week. That's the story for another day. But absolutely, Coach Robertson coming on in here. What an emotional victory for that program.
Definitely. So who is your student section?
Oh, Plano East, man. I
calling out Allen.
We want Allen.
2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks. That's the game.
Woo,
that is going to be
mark
a game
your calendars.
We want Allen.
No, you don't.
We don't want Allen.
We want Allen.
No, we don't.
They want all the smoke.
Oh, thanks so much for joining us. Whataburger Friday Night Stars from the Star in Frisco. For Eric Chiafalo, for Zach Wolchuk, for Heckma Harrison, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Thanks for joining us again. Follow us on Twitter at Friday_Stars. And until next week, so long from Frisco.